I know that they notice me. No gunna, but I keep it P. Just cause it causing B. This what you wanted. Did what you wanted. Look what you started. They wanted me to go dumb. But now I'm going retarded. Smoking gas for the dealer departed. Get my heart out and then I turn heartless. Got it back cold, now I'm cold-hearted. This what you wanted. Look what you started. They wanted me to go dumb. But now I'm going retarded. Smoking gas for the dealer departed. Get my heart out and then I turn heartless. Got it back cold, now I'm cold-hearted. Had second thoughts about loving me, baby. You took back the love that you gave me. I hated emotions, they slowly be driving me crazy. Your love is the only thing that could come save me. Fuck it, since birth I've been solo so lately. I'm about to just pop, so I chase it on daily. Gave me some blood, but you did it so vainly. Don't turn around and come mess me with change me. Fuck it, feelings to the side. Count money and vibe. Fuck a 9 to 5. We out here living life. Running miles on flights. All these sleepless nights. Diamonds cut precise. I hope you got it right. This what you wanted. Look what you started. They wanted me to go dumb. But now I'm going retarded. Smoking gas for the dealer departed. Get my heart out and then I turn heartless. Got it back cold, now I'm cold-hearted. I'ma cloud these thoughts with smoke. Get high to balance these lows. With a smile on for the show. Just hope my feelings don't show. Jump all these sorrows and go. Let the diamond blind out hoes. With a tech night, keep it close. Cause I know they do the most.
Yeah! What up, everybody? What up, Dion? Boy, Dion in here, man. It's motherfucking Friday. Shaking ass on the Friday. Hey, man, what you on today, man? What you got going on, Dion? Besides shaking booty early on a Friday. I ain't gonna lie. I fell asleep on a Freaky Friday. That's crazy. Not a Freaky Friday. Cause it's Freaky Friday. Ain't that how that song go? Song like that? Song like my don't. Forget I even said it. How's your day going though, man? I was gonna jump on earlier, man, but nah, shit, man. I was debating whether I wanted to stream or not, and then I'm like, man, I ain't doing shit. So let me jump on here. I won't go do nothing but watch these. Yeah, man, I'm good. Had a good night. Passed out early as fuck. Got a good sleep. Woke up early. I was gonna jump on stream early, but then I couldn't do it. I had to clean the house. I had a fucking mess everywhere. I ain't cleaned up in the past like 2 days. I was like, yeah, I gotta clean up. Yeah, I can't do this shit. I'm debating whether I want a VR in a little bit, but for right now, I know I ain't gonna watch these videos. You gonna hang out with me and watch these Reddit stories. Let me see. It should be. Yup. And then I should be able to do this. Yup. If I'm not mistaken.
That you can only post anonymously online. Story 1. I met someone on a dating app a couple of years ago.
Let's see what these stories got for us today.
A casual sexual relationship. She lived a good drive away, and Uber was my main form of transportation at the time. So the first time we met, it cost $70 round trip, more or less, to see her. I was pretty horny, so I had no problem putting.
See, that was your first problem. You ain't know how to keep your dick in your pants.
Up the money. I went straight to her place. The vibes and compatibility were there. I had fun. But the next time she invited me over, I told her I can't afford to see her that often. So I asked if it was okay if we split the Uber fare, and she agreed. It was fun. But I still realized that it wasn't sustainable to keep seeing her. So the next time we spoke, I told her it wouldn't be a good idea.
What the fuck? My plug give me. What the fuck is in this? Damn. It's some good shit.
To keep seeing each other. She heard my side and then quickly insisted on continuing to see each other casually. So much that she offered to pay the Uber fare for the third time we met. Now, respectfully, she was a bit insecure and was able to be vulnerable and open with me from the very start. So it was a perfect storm of attack.
Nigga. What the fuck? Dion! Fuck! That is a good clip, though. I can't stand your ass.
Attachment, in my opinion. And I think it's fair to say that she really liked me, hence why she insisted. So I agreed. I went to see her the third time, and I had fun again. I didn't want to ask her again for help with Uber.
Crazy work, bro.
Solely from a point of understanding it was too much for anyone to pay for something casual like that. So when she reached out again, I had already planned to cut things off, which was what I told her. But she went on to explain how she was a grown woman and that we could agree as adults that it's her decision, and how if she wants us to be able to keep having fun, she was willing to pay for the Uber. All that, but I knew it. What's a confession that you can only post anonymously
wait, what the
online?
fuck, bro? Why you starting
Story
over?
1. I met someone on a dating app a couple of and was having fun.
What did it say? I think we're like right here.
It fluctuated up and down.
So she didn't want to stop seeing homie. Homie was piping the fuck out of ass, bro. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all now. I got my little situations where I got this shorty, man. She hit me up every fucking weekend. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. And I was really liking this bitch. I asked this bitch out twice on a date. She left me hanging, but they always want me to come by on the fucking weekend. So I was like, all right. One day I just didn't show up. She's like, what, you not gonna come over? I said, nah, bitch. Like, I ain't, like, this ain't high school.
Then later see Jane the same night. I would say things like, can I shower when I get there? I'm stinky from the gym. All kinds of excuses. It happened a couple of times. On top of all that, I occasionally check the Uber fare rate from my place to hers to keep up with any changes in rates. It fluctuated up and down, and I would let her know I'd be needing more or less because the Uber fare changed, and Jane accommodated. I had to keep it realistic, right? It was all bad. Eventually, I met someone I fell in love with and wanted something serious with, and I broke things off with Jane. And this was when everything mostly came out. She shared how she put a lot of effort into our relationship to try and get me to reciprocate her effort. But I only ever leaned on the, I just wanted something casual.
Yeah.
She was hurt, depressed, and burdened by our casual relationship after that because she developed strong feelings for me. We came to an understanding in that part, but I never told her about the car. I apologized for everything except for that because I was a coward to mention it. I took advantage of her.
Wait, what is up with the car? What's up with the car? What are we missing? What did I miss? Did y'all catch it? What's up with the car? Did you catch it? What's the deal with the car? Oh, so you ain't catch it either. What the fuck is the deal with the car?
And I feel terrible about it. I'm not proud of it, so I'm letting it out anonymously. Story 2. I, 20F, have been sleeping with my brother's best friend, 23M, of 10 plus years. So let me start from the beginning.
So I'm gonna say the way they're saying
23M,
a 23-year-old male of 10 plus years is their brother's friend.
Of 10 plus years. So let me start from the beginning. Let's call him Eric.
All right, Eric.
I have known Eric since I was in elementary school. He has been my brother's friend since middle school and would always bring him around, but I never talked to him due to being a shy girl until about my sophomore year of high school. There was one random night that
When he was already out of high school. Continue.
resulted in me frequently hanging out with my brother and Eric. Eric is an attractive guy. I always found him cute, but again, he was my brother's best friend, so I never saw him in any type of way. I also felt that I was out of his league, as he's older than me. Anyway, we all grew closer as a group, so we planned a vacation together to Puerto Rico. It was a group of us.
Oh, Lord.
My brother, his girlfriend Eric, his friend Eddie, myself, and my friend.
Do y'all know what Puerto Rico's Spanish nickname is? Isla del Encanto. If you don't know what that means, I don't either, gang. I don't either, gang. This shit going real. Puerto Rico, right? We call it La Isla del Encanto. It's his nickname. The Island of Enchantment. We call it that for a fucking reason. I already know where this is
Our
going.
Airbnb had 2 rooms and a living room with a small inflatable mattress and a couch. On the first day, Eric and I were the only ones drinking. We drank from when we landed until I knocked out on the floor. When I woke up, everyone was ready to go to
plasma
bed.
bastard.
My brother and his girlfriend took one room. Eric took the other.
Yeah, dead ass. La Isla del Encanto. Isla del Encanto. That's Puerto Rico. If you look it up, that's literally our nickname for our country. Isla del Encanto. So, the Island of Enchantment. So basically, it's supposed to be this magic, but it's like there's a lot of magic in Puerto Rico, and people don't be believing me when I tell them this. Like the Caribbeans, for some reason, we believe in a lot of spiritual things. And we tend to see a lot of spiritual things that in most places you don't get to see. So, hence the Island of Enchantment.
Eddie took the couch, and my friend took the inflatable.
Sometimes
when
once
I woke
you go,
up,
you
Eric
don't
was
want to
offering
leave.
his bed to me, asking if I wanted to sleep in the big bed in the second room since the inflatable was too small.
But see, what's crazy about me, man, like my dad's Puerto Rican and black. My mom's Salvadorian. So my mom's side of the family, they're real spiritual too. So like I be seeing spiritual things from like 2 different angles sometimes, and it'd be like a mind fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like if a lot of people knew the shit that I knew from both sides of a different, you know what I'm saying? Like people would be like, what the fuck? And sometimes all I can do is just be quiet. I can't tell them because then they get mad, and I can't tell them because then they get mad, man. Hey, that shit be so fucking weird.
I was still a little drunk and stumbled my way to his room. I didn't think much of his offer, but I also wasn't going to turn it down. When I laid on the bed, I was still wearing the clothes from that day in my bathing suit. When he walked in, he nudged me to fix myself since I was on the edge of the bed. But when he woke me up, I was suddenly not sleepy anymore. And he wasn't tired either, so we watched TV. Midway through watching, I joked about taking more shots, and to my surprise, he got up to get the bottle. There we were, taking shots and watching Friends. I was watching with my head on his shoulder until at some point, he pulled me closer, so my head was resting on his chest and he was caressing my arm. Again, I didn't think much of this. In my mind, it still wasn't even a thought of us doing anything, until at some point we were face to face, close to kissing, telling each other that we can't and it's just because we're drunk. But then that soon turned into we can't tell anyone. We ended up kissing and hooking up that night. After, we told each other that we could never tell anyone or speak on it again. We said when we woke up, everything would go back to normal. And so we went to sleep cuddling. Also, to keep things clear, things between us are strictly physical. The next morning, we didn't speak on it. Nothing was awkward. We acted how we always do, which I appreciated, until we were all smoking on the patio that night, and it was just us 2 out there. I don't remember how the subject got brought up, but we started talking
Nah,
about the night
for
before.
real, right?
To sum up the conversation, it was basically us saying that one more time couldn't hurt. And what happened in Puerto Rico stays in Puerto Rico
What'd I say? What did I say? What the fuck did I say?
because we weren't going to bring whatever we were doing back home. And so that same night, we slept together and hooked up again. This happened every day of our vacation. And no, we didn't get caught. If you're wondering what my brother thought of Eric and me sleeping together, he never really said anything to me. Apparently, Eric had asked for permission on the first night. Not permission to do anything with me, obviously, but permission as in if it was fine if I slept in the bed because there was nowhere else for me to go. And my brother was fine with it. I think my brother also thought we would never hook up. We never spoke about it because I didn't want to make it weird by bringing it up. But I know he also didn't tell my mom when she asked about the sleeping arrangements. I don't think anyone on the trip really suspected anything. Although I do know Eddie walked into our room one morning while we were cuddling, and he just stood there watching us for a while until he left. But he never said anything. Anyway, on the last day of our vacation, it was just us in the house as everyone else was out doing something. So we had our last hookup. We said we were going to cut off all the inside jokes that had come about from our hookups and anything that had to do with our secret. Throughout the trip,
Sure.
we would feel guilty for my brother and what we were doing behind his back. But at the same time, there was a rush of adrenaline and curiosity with the situation. I mean, come on, hooking up with my older brother's hot friend? It's straight out of a movie. I couldn't help but explore, and I think Eric felt the same way too. Yet when we got back home, it seemed like we weren't done exploring. The second night back, we ended up hooking up on my couch. And then we hooked up again, and again, and again. We've been sneaky with it, but also very risky. But that's the fun part of it, and he gets off on the sneakiness. Once we almost got caught by my dad, but no one is suspicious because it's Eric, my brother's best friend who's been around for ages. It's been about 3 months of us sneaking around. We've gotten to a point where I've snuck over to his in the middle of the night.
At this point, they dating, ain't they? Them some young hoes, oh God.
Or I let him know when I'm home alone, or we just hook up in my living room. For context, Eric is always over and stays very late whether or not my brother is there. So it's very easy for us. Anyway, I've reached a point where I'm kind of over the rush of the plot. I know we're not going to date. He's made that clear because he wants a baddie. And I'm just not a baddie yet, you know? Like I know I'm attracted.
What the fuck is she talking about? Cause he wants a baddie. I know I'm not a baddie yet. Let me tell you something. We just gonna keep shit hot. If you ain't a baddie now, you ain't gonna be a baddie there later. I'm just saying.
Active,
I don't know
but
the
I
fuck
haven't
she
reached my
thinking.
peak.
You getting older.
Also, for the obvious reason of me being his best friend's little sister. So I've kind of made it a mission to work my way into becoming a baddie this summer, so he can want one he can't have. His old sneaky link also hit him up again, so I just don't even feel like messing around anymore before he starts messing with her again. Anyway, I want to be the one to end it, not him, because I don't want him to feel that power. I don't know how to explain it. He said I've been the best he's been with, which is why it's been hard for him to stop. But I feel like he sees himself as the prize, which I don't like. Anyway, I had my fun.
I mean, you gave the coochie up to him. So, he kind of the prize. Just saying. You gave him your most valuable possession.
Who knows when we'll end this fun?
I'll be getting
Probably
it.
soon. Just felt like saying something on here since I can't really tell many people. Am I a bad person for what I did to my brother? Should I stop hooking up with Eric? Story 3. I have
Yeah, like my boy said, cut him loose. You need to find Jesus.
OCD, so this is confusing. I don't know whether or not I actually said a prayer. This might be part of the whole issue. OCD sometimes focuses on taboo themes. I've had an obsession over praying for bad things.
Jesus.
Started out with things like World War III, so I would die, and then a lot of other things like that, where there would be some benefit to me, but other people would get hurt. Unfortunately, it went beyond that. OCD has led me to become desensitized to certain things. Like if there was a tragedy that happened where someone died, I felt bad, but I was so focused on my own depression, I didn't really feel too much about it. Sometimes it could even be like, oh, here is something dramatic that happened that could distract me from what I'm worrying about. I felt guilty about that, but that is part of what OCD targets. This next part is disturbing. OCD causes me to look at stories of what bad people did, to compare them to myself and reassure myself I'm not as bad as them. In addition to that, sometimes dramatic stories of messed up things distract me from OCD. My OCD took advantage of this. With the prayer obsession I'm having, if I feel guilty about praying for something, it can make me compulsively want it. It's difficult to explain, but I could find myself praying for every little thing like, please let the soap be full, etc. I don't know if these were real prayers. My mind wanted to see how far it could go, and it brought in things like the ones I mentioned with dramatic stories. Unfortunately, that was a possibility too. My mind would do things like, for example, if a tragedy happened at school and there was a possibility of class being canceled. It would obviously be inappropriate to pray for class to be canceled because of it, but it almost caused a compulsive desire for that to happen because it was an inappropriate situation. I almost did it, but stopped myself. That's a much less extreme example. Today, the topic was about a school shooting. I've had inappropriate reactions to that in the past before, probably due to OCD blunting my emotions, like, now I can read about it, or something similar as a compulsion. I wouldn't say I was glad it happened, because obviously I don't want people to get hurt, but my initial reaction wasn't really feeling bad. It was, I can use this as a compulsion, which brought relief because it fed the compulsion. I don't know that this is fully in my control. With the prayer obsession,
I'm so fucking lost. What? Repeat that. Cause you on some bullshit.
bad. It was, I can use this as a compulsion.
Okay,
which brought
good.
relief because it fed the compulsion. I don't know that this is fully in my control. With the prayer obsession, the type of praying where, if I felt bad about it, I could end up praying for inappropriate things, could target moments like this. It was almost like a compulsion too. I thought quickly about why I'd want this. And in my head, I said, Amen, sort of testing it out, but being open to the possibility I wanted it. I don't know whether I meant it or not. If I had to guess, I'd say probably not, but I can't tell. There is a good chance this is part of OCD. It's not normally the type of person I am. Story 4. I thought I...
That was fucking weird. That was fucking weird. Damn, hold the fuck
would
up.
take this to the grave, but I feel the need to share some secondhand embarrassment. I work in a small building where everyone knows one another and we are all collegial. I outrank everyone, but I don't make a big deal out of it, and everyone expects me to pitch in for parties, which is fair, and I don't mind. I'm no one's boss, I'm just really senior. This is relevant, I swear. I noticed some chicken meatballs in the freezer, a brand and type I normally buy, but I thought I had already eaten them. I asked a few of my coworkers, and they denied owning them, so I wrote it off as a senior moment and had some meatballs for lunch. The next day, I went to heat up some lunch and happily dumped some in my bowl. A coworker was in the room with me and asked for some. I said, "Of course. How many would you like?" She replied, "5 is good." I said, "They're a little sweet, so they might make your ramen taste odd." She replied, "I know. They're mine." Oh, the shame. I wanted to disappear into the small greasy spot on my napkin left by the offending meatballs. I was the offending meatball. I brought Brought her a whole new package of meatballs and a homemade lunch the next day. I will never eat those meatballs again. Story 5. Hi, I've been saving up for years now, and my parents aren't aware of it. I even opened the account through a different bank, so there's no trace of it whatsoever. Growing up, they weren't great with finances. Lots of debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and always stressing about bills. They're good people who worked hard, but we suffered a lot financially. I've been working since I was 16 and have always been super careful with money. After college, I landed a decent job in tech and have been pretty aggressive about saving. Nothing crazy, but I've managed to put away about $65,000 over the last few years between my emergency fund and investments. Here's the thing, my parents have no idea. They think I'm just getting by like most people my age. Whenever money comes up, I just change the subject or downplay how I'm doing. Part of me feels guilty for hiding this, especially since they sometimes mention how they worry about me financially. But the other part remembers how, whenever I had money growing up, they'd borrow it for bills or emergencies and rarely pay it back. Even in college, when I got a small scholarship check, they convinced me to use it for family expenses. I don't blame them because they were struggling, but I learned early that any money I had that was visible became family money. It was a very hard decision to make, but it turned out to be the better decision. Story 6. When I was 18, I got a job at a big-name supermarket. I took it very seriously, making sure I did everything right, didn't let anyone get away with stealing, and never showed up late. I was the perfect employee. But then COVID hit, and the only place that stayed open was the supermarket. We were in lockdown for nearly 2 years straight, so people were losing their jobs. Money was getting tight, and the prices of groceries skyrocketed. It was really bad. People would line up for hours before we opened, hoping to get something from our limited stock. When I finally opened the store, I noticed my elderly neighbor looking a little lost, so I called her over. She told me that her son couldn't visit anymore due to being immunosuppressed. She relied on him to bring her groceries, and it had been nearly a month since she had any. She was only there out of desperation. She has PTSD and can't be around lots of noise. But despite that, she came. By midday, our shelves were completely bare. People just snatched up whatever they could, leaving the disabled or elderly with nothing. I felt like crying. This poor lady had no food, no toiletries, and was panicked from the noise of people arguing and running around. I told her I'd see what I could do and let her go home. When I went on break, I walked into the back storage. I saw a shopping cart full of return-to-shelf stock, just items people returned for refunds, but still in good enough condition to resell. I saw a can of ravioli, wet wipes, and a carton of long-life milk. Without thinking, I snuck them under my jacket and took them to my car. I drove to my neighbor's house after work and gave them to her. I didn't mention where I got them. I just hoped it would help. She thanked me and offered to pay me back, which I obviously declined. It became a thing for the entirety of lockdown. Anything that didn't have a place on the shelf, I'd take. I got pretty bold, eventually taking jugs of fresh milk or packs of meat. I never got caught. Once lockdown lifted, the chaos slowed down. Shelves were better stocked, but lots of people still had no jobs. I let so many people take items. Mothers would take baby formula. Elderly people took their supplements. Some couldn't afford everything they scanned, and I'd quietly slip the rest into their bags. It didn't seem fair that the supermarket raised prices faster than they could update their catalogs. I became known by some as a fail-safe. Mostly mothers, a few students, and the elderly. Some even left letters addressed to me, thanking me for having a heart. I quit when the wrong crowd found out. A group of teens and young adults saw me working and started calling their friends to come. They walked the aisles, stuffing whatever they wanted into bags. They'd come to my register, hand me a single item to scan, smiling and joking. I wasn't laughing. They didn't even try to hide it. But I knew if I stopped them, they'd report me. So I stuck it out until I could find a better job. A few months later, one of the mothers I often helped told me she finally got a job as a manager at a disability support agency. She slid a note to me with her number and said, "You have no idea how much you've helped me. I won't get into details here, but if you ever need a job, call this number." She paid for her groceries in full, and I finally had a way out. I called that number, and thanks to her help and guidance, I'm now a successful business owner at 23. My elderly neighbor is now under my business's care. Her groceries are delivered at no extra cost by my employees, and her medication is delivered by me personally to this day. Story 7. I fully understand that what I did was wrong and that I never should have done it in the first place. Please don't hate on me. I don't think it'll add anything I don't already know. I'm 19 now and I still regularly think about it. This all happened in an online chat platform. When I was younger, like 11 to 17, I had a serious addiction.
When I was younger, like 11 to 17. Okay. Okay.
Addiction to adult content. It was so unhealthy, it genuinely affected my mental health. I was always thinking about it. It took over everything. At this point in my life, I didn't have any friends and my parents didn't really pay attention to me. I was so starved for connection, I would do anything. I joined an inappropriate server, lied about my age, and told everyone I was 18. We started talking. He was much older. I don't really remember how old he was exactly, but it was somewhere around 36. I know, it's a lot. Insane. We exchanged all kinds of explicit messages and media. I never showed my face, but he did, all the time. He became obsessed with me. He even used some of the pictures I sent as his profile picture in computer wallpaper. He actually printed them out and would send videos doing things that, looking back, were very disturbing, even for me. At the time, I liked talking to him. We chatted daily for about 4 months. He was extremely kind and understanding, or at least that's how it felt to me. He told me how much he was attracted to younger people and talked about dynamics that I now realize were really concerning. I once asked him how he'd feel if I was underage, and he said he'd love me the same. Looking back now, that was deeply wrong. But eventually the guilt built up so much I had to tell him. I felt awful about the entire situation. So I told him the truth. He didn't seem to care much. He wasn't mad, which is probably even more concerning. He said he didn't want to talk anymore, which was absolutely the right choice. After that, I blocked him, deleted my account, and tried to move on. I know what I did was wrong, but I was a lonely, confused kid doing unhealthy things for attention. Story 8. I worked at a major donut chain in the US when I was in high school, and I had a system where I pocketed a lot of extra money each night. I started this shortly after getting in trouble for giving away day-old donuts to a homeless shelter. They would come by in the morning and take bags and bags of donuts that we were no longer going to sell. One day, my boss ended that due to a corporate email and told me to stop. The people from the shelter came by, and I was forced to refuse them. So now we were just throwing away a ton of donuts every day. But there was no way of tracking how much we were throwing away. Could be 5 donuts or 5 racks. That lack of tracking was part of the reason my plan worked. Back then, a standard dozen cost approximately $6.85 or $11.50 for 2 dozen, and most people paid in cash. It was easy to do the math on the change since the majority of sales were 1 or 2 dozen. Also, the drive-through camera and register were broken. For 2 years, so 90% of the time, I would open the register, make change, hand out donuts and change, and pocket the sale. Only if a customer asked for a receipt would I enter the transaction quickly. The till was never off because the transaction was never recorded, and we were never responsible for any discrepancy under $5. Mine was never off. There was no way to tell I was selling the donuts because we threw so many away and didn't track them. I'm sure sales figures slipped, but only a competent manager would have noticed, and mine wasn't. I probably took over $100 each night I worked and never got caught. I did this for about 1.5 years until I left for college. Also, we stopped being 24 hours at one point. The third shift staff often left early and the store was a mess. For about a half hour after closing and in between cleaning, I would sit in the drive-through lane out back and sell dozens for $5, cash only. I'd make an extra $20 to $50 in that half hour pretty easily, and customers were always happy. A, they could still get donuts, and B, it was cheaper. When I quit, I took about 10 of the giant aluminum racks we used after cooking donuts. We didn't use all of them, and most were broken, but I didn't really ask for permission either. I brought them to a metal scrapyard. Shortly after quitting, I did feel kind of bad about everything and made a donation to the homeless shelter we had stopped supporting, but not nearly the amount I pocketed. I try to be a much better person now than I was then. Story 9. I'm not going to disclose the exact location of this event because I want to protect my privacy, and I don't know all the details. My family home is on a dead-end street in semi-rural Maine, and I grew up knowing that my neighbor down the street was sketchy. He drove an old car and had bullet holes in his front door. The rumor was that he had harmed his daughter, served jail time, and got out on probation. This all happened about a decade ago when I was a child. He recently passed away, and his house has been abandoned and put up for sale. I've always been fascinated by abandoned places, so I wanted to check it out. The house was a lovely colonial New England style, and I was curious. I went in one day with little concern from my family and no worries about being seen by neighbors. To cut to the chase, I found a room upstairs filled with children's toys. Plushies, dollhouses, action figures, everything you could imagine. Most of it was filthy. Then in the attic, there was an elaborate toy train system. I felt disturbed and deeply uncomfortable as soon as I saw that room. When I got home, I did a deep dive into the address and the man who owned the house. I found out he had been arrested for multiple counts of harming children. I will never forget what I saw in that toy room. Knowing what that man did will forever make me sick. Story 10. I used to work for a company that illegally shipped alcohol to influencers, and I reported them once I was fired. My old company partnered with influencers to promote wine and beer. My role was to handle the logistics for these promotions, which included sending out bottles to influencers. However, we never had the proper license to ship alcohol in our state. Without this license, our shipments were not compliant with the law. I raised this concern with my boss several times, but she insisted we proceed with the shipments. She didn't want to pay the licensing fee or have to report how much wine we were sending each month, which was several cases, even though the law only allows for 2 per month. In general, she was a very difficult person to work with. She constantly belittled me and was looking for reasons to fire me. Eventually, she succeeded. A couple of months later, I decided to report the company to our state. According to local law, shipping alcohol without the proper license is a Class 1 misdemeanor, carrying a maximum penalty of up to 12 months in jail and a fine of up to $2,500 per offense. I stayed in touch with a few former co-workers, and they confirmed that authorities had launched an investigation. Unfortunately, we lost contact after I started a new job, so I don't know what happened next. I never told anyone it was me who reported them. I do feel a little guilty because, ultimately, the shipments weren't harming anyone, and I may have jeopardized the income of my former teammates and our influencer partners, just to get back at my boss. Story 11. I feel very alone in the world, deprived of attention, and generally disliked by my peers. So I lie almost every day about little things, big things. I exaggerate details of events that happened or completely fabricate them. It's been going on for so long that the line of reality has become blurred. I don't know what's true or real anymore, and I find myself questioning thoughts, feelings, and actions regularly, whether they're mine or someone else's. I try to deflect blame and rationalize my thoughts and feelings through my perception of the world around me, only to again question the validity of my own conclusions. It's a never-ending cycle of confusion. For most of my life, I've lived untreated. I've been through the mental health system before, and it's part of the reason I have a lot of mistrust. I don't want someone telling me how to think or feel, because I've grown to believe I can only trust how I think or feel. Even if I can prove to myself that I'm wrong, I still feel like I'm not. I can identify when and where trauma has occurred in my life and how it has shaped my perception. I can recognize that because of the trauma, I am constantly in a state of survival. I can't stop surviving. I just want to live. Story 12. When I was like 22, I attended a conference at a hotel. My stay at the hotel was covered by my college, but I drove myself there. Well, the night I had to check out, there was this massive storm. I was terrified of driving home in it, but I was broke and couldn't afford to pay for a room on my own. I was trying to work something out at the front desk and started sobbing. A guy from my college, who I barely knew, saw me crying and said he was staying another night. He said I could stay with him, as long as I'd be comfortable sharing a bed. His room only had one. Of course, I was scared of sharing a bed with someone I barely knew, and I was dating a jealous and controlling partner at the time. He'd be furious if he found out, but I was so desperate, so I just went ahead and did it. Looking back, I'm so lucky that nothing happened.
Come on, man.
The guy was perfectly respectful. He never once tried to make a move or made me feel uncomfortable during the entire night. And my boyfriend at the time, thankfully my ex now, never found out about it. I've never shared this with anyone. And I still don't think I did anything wrong. I wasn't trying to cheat or lead anyone on. I was just desperate and needed somewhere safe to sleep. Story 13. Recently, I've noticed that I will cut people off without a second thought, despite feeling extremely lonely. I feel like I have no friends and my family doesn't understand me. I've isolated myself to a point where now I'm just on a worse mental decline. I think this all started with a medical issue. 3 years ago, I went through the worst physical pain I've ever experienced. It was a constant, horrible experience. It lasted for about 2 years before a solution was finally found. It was such an easy fix, which made it even more frustrating. It was a really low point for me. I couldn't work very well, and I was drinking pretty heavily to deal with the pain. Then, when a solution was finally found, the issue was basically fixed overnight. And after all that, I didn't know what to do. I was convinced I was going to die, not because of the condition itself, but because I wasn't sure how much more pain I could handle. I think I'm still mentally stuck. It's like I'm always anticipating that the pain will come back. I've slowly developed extreme trust issues, probably because I had to deal with so many doctors who didn't help, and the amount of money I spent that led nowhere. It's like every time I solve one problem, I create another mental barrier. I don't know what to do, because no one seems to get it. When I'm around others, I feel like I'm just putting on an act. I'm also losing a lot of sleep and some weight. I just don't know what to do. Story 14. I make $80,000 a year, and I've become so efficient at my job that I only put in about 1 real week of work every month. The rest of the time, I'm just watching TV shows, listening to podcasts, or diving into random rabbit holes online. When I first started, I was always behind. I didn't have a formal education in this field. I just picked everything up on the job. Over time, I got faster. I type around 75 words per minute with basically no errors. Then I started figuring out shortcuts. I realized I didn't need to use the bloated industry software we were told to rely on. I could do everything faster and more clearly with Excel. My reports are crystal clear, and if there's a mistake, it's easy to spot. No one complains. In fact, I'm the top performer at my company. I have the best relationships with clients, I meet all my deadlines, and my work is spotless. But the truth is, I only really work for about 1 week each month. The other 3 weeks, I just kind of exist. I used to read a ton too. 1 year I read 200 books. I've done deep dives into every topic I care about. And now I'm just bored. I thought doing everything right would feel good. I'm overachieving and underworked, and somehow I feel worse than when I was struggling. Quiet quitting isn't even the right term. It's more like silent burnout. Story 15. I have had a pen pal for over 20 years. Pen pal is the easiest way to explain what our friendship is. We met online when we were...
So he happy that he only have to work 1 week for real, and then the rest of the week he's chilling. The rest of the time he's chilling. I don't know, man. That sounds pretty nice to me.
In our early teens on a platform that no longer exists, back in a time when online safety wasn't as widely discussed as it is today. Over the years, we communicated through texting, messaging on various social media platforms, FaceTime, and more. Whenever one of us got into a serious relationship, the other would usually vanish, or ghost, as they call it now, and eventually resurface a couple of years later when the relationship had ended or was falling apart. Or sometimes life just got so busy that the physically distant friendship faded even more. For me, I kept the communication going, even while in relationships. Sometimes I'd disappear too, but then I'd have a dream or something would remind me of him, and I'd reach out again. He truly was, and still is, my best friend. However, I've always felt there was something more. There was always that wondering, what would it be like if we met in person? Would there be a spark? Fast forward 20 plus years and we finally met. He's handsome, charming, attentive, and incredibly kind. We got along so well, but he lives thousands of miles away. Now, I may be in the wrong here. I've been married for nearly 10 years and my pen pal is currently single. However, I'm also recently separated from my husband to give myself space to figure out what I need. Meeting him made me realize realize just how unhappy and emotionally hurt I've been in my current situation.
Of course, that's what you
But it
get
also
so
left me more
unhappy.
confused. One of the things he said during our conversations was that when I got married, he made peace with it, even though it caught him off guard, and he didn't think we'd continue talking. But we have. That makes me feel like maybe these feelings were mutual over the years. I've always felt that he was the right person, but at the wrong time. And maybe it'll never be the right time in this life. I think he's content being single and not committing to anyone right now because he's gone through a lot of trauma and several difficult relationships. I'm not very old, 33F, and I know, hopefully, I have many more years ahead to live happily. But I'm curious what others might think, or if anyone has ever experienced something similar in their life. Story 16. I was pulling into my college parking lot and thought I could make it into the space, but I ended up scratching another car. Luckily, the guy was inside his vehicle, and we both got out. His car had a few scratches. I can't remember how large they were, but I don't think it was too bad. It was also on the back of his car and not very noticeable. I told him we could exchange information, but he told me it was okay, that things happen and not to worry about it. I looked at my own car, and near the front headlight, there was paint scratched off. It's a bit of a blur, and I can't fully remember how large the area was, but it was definitely noticeable. I'm currently in class and can't look at it again yet, but I haven't told anyone, except I told my partner that I hit the curb. But honestly, the damage is way too high up to just be from a curb. I know if my parents see it, they'll be mad, but I don't think I can tell them the truth. My father just looked at my car earlier today while checking the oil, so he'll definitely notice. Should I just not say anything until they bring it up, or should I stick to the curb story? I feel awful about the whole thing, and I'm not sure what to do. I'll look at the damage again once I'm out of class to see how bad it really is. If anyone has advice, I'd appreciate it. Story 17. A few days ago, I went through one of the most painful experiences of my life. We had planned a trip to my friend's farmhouse. There were around 7 of us, including my girl best friend. She wasn't just a friend. She was someone very close to me, one of the best people I've ever had in my life. Her mother had trusted me completely and sent her with me, saying, "I'm sending her on your responsibility." That trust meant everything. That night we planned a drink. The mistake we made was doing it without eating anything. I was drunk, but she was in much worse condition. She couldn't even open her eyes. I tried to stay by her side thinking, she's my best friend, like a sister, and to make sure
That shit funny. He said, I was drunk, but she was worse.
she was okay, but I wasn't fully in control either. Then the mother of the friend who owned the farmhouse walked in. She saw the state we were in and panicked. She started slapping both of us, trying to snap us out of it. My friend wasn't responding, and things felt completely out of control. Her mother had been calling both of us, but we hadn't answered. We were in total chaos, and suddenly she was there. Her mother, her uncle, grandmother, and little brother all showed up. I don't remember exactly how or when. It's a blur, and I wasn't in a state to speak or explain. Her mother had trusted me, even as a single parent, knowing how much her past had been affected by alcohol. She put her faith in me, and I broke it. I can't forget that. Later, through a mutual friend, I learned that her mother told her never to speak to me again, that I should never be around her. And just like that, I lost someone who meant everything to me. She's still here, but no longer part of my life. And that's the kind of loss that doesn't heal. From that day, I haven't touched a single drop of alcohol. That night changed everything. The guilt of losing her, my best friend, someone who brought meaning and light into my life, will always stay with me. The memories hurt now, but they're all I have left. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself, but I know I'll never forget what I lost that night. Story 18. As of recently, I've been struggling a lot financially. I've been trying my hardest to get back on my feet, but everything in life just seems to make it harder. I've been constantly looking for jobs, but not having a car makes it difficult since I have no easy way to commute for work. And to make it worse, I ended up losing my ID when I was on my bike one day, and no one wants to hire me without it. I've asked a few friends to help me out with money for food and rent, and luckily people have been helpful with that. But now I owe around $1,000 to each of them. I really don't want to keep asking for more help. And now I need to find a new place to live because I couldn't keep up with the payments. One night, I was extremely hungry and had no money at all. I had the idea to grab something small from the store and just walk out, hoping to at least get something to eat. It worked, and now I've been doing it more often. I've found small ways to get bits of food without paying. Every time I go out to do this, I get anxious because I know that one wrong move and it could all fall apart. But what else can I do? I'm hungry. Tonight, as I write this, I got caught for the first time. I don't really blame anyone for what happened. I was trying to take some candy, and it was obvious the employee knew. I gave up, put it back, and walked out. The employee followed me outside and yelled at me, telling me never to come back. Her feelings are valid. I just feel awful about all of this. It's not that I want to do this. It's just that I don't think I have any other option. Story 19. In my English class, there are 3 rude girls. They're friends, and they're the popular ones. There's also a guy who sits near them. He doesn't get along with them very well. Because of that, I had an idea. I decided to start writing silly notes and signing his name on them. I made the notes during my previous class so I wouldn't get caught writing them during English. When I got to English, I'd make sure nobody was looking and then place the note on one of the girls' desks. The first note she got, she showed her friends and then brought it to the teacher. She said, "What is this?" "It's from classmate's name?" The teacher responded, "I don't know, just throw it away." I kept doing it. I made 4 more notes, and each time she told him to stop making them. He kept insisting it wasn't him. Then on the 5th note, she said, "I'm telling the teacher." She showed the teacher the note and asked, "Can you tell him to stop?" But the teacher already knew it wasn't him. She recognized his handwriting. She said, "I can tell you, that's nowhere even close to his handwriting. Somebody wrote his name on it." There was some back and forth discussion about the situation. 10 minutes later, after things calmed down, the teacher addressed the whole class and said, "Whoever is writing the little notes, please stop making them. It's really getting to her, and it's starting to affect her." Story 20. This isn't that hard to admit, really. I've in many ways come to accept my weaknesses in my older age and allow myself some grace. That doesn't mean I'm totally okay with it. I'm dealing with about 85% Diogenes syndrome, a condition involving extreme clutter and neglect of self-care. Both of those are part of my reality right now. I've been on my own for 20 years. No family, lost friends for different reasons. My family is toxic, including a mother who seemed to dislike me from the very beginning. My siblings were never caring. I did my best, but my government benefits couldn't keep up with rising rent, gas prices, and car repairs. It overwhelmed me. I stopped caring about my place, or myself. I don't need step-by-step cleaning advice. I need a team, but I can't afford one. I have the disorder to some degree, and it's real. I could be evicted if someone found out. The stress never leaves me. I've let my hygiene go too. I only shower before seeing my occasional friend with benefits, maybe a couple of times a month. He doesn't know about this personal struggle. What we have is separate from that. My place is a mess. I'm a mess. I can't afford therapy due to the co-pays, and there are no support groups near me. I'm okay, just incredibly lonely. I don't want to talk one-on-one with a stranger either. There's no clear floor. Bags of trash I haven't taken out. I'm ashamed. I'm afraid my landlord will see me dragging bags to the dumpster and start asking questions. I'm also sick with multiple chronic conditions, including fatigue. I'm often bedridden. I just needed a vent. Not looking for advice. I already know what needs to be done, but between my disorder and being completely overwhelmed, I feel like I'm out of options. Thanks for understanding and for reading. Take care. Story 21. I'm 32, grew up with split parents, spent most of my time with my mom. My dad remarried when I was around 6 or 7. We were never especially close, but that had nothing to do with his remarriage. My stepmom has always been great. Years later, they had a child, my half-brother, who's now 12, and I haven't seen him since he was a baby. There wasn't any falling out. Life just moved in different directions. Around the time he was born, I was entering my figuring things out phase, which lasted a few years before I moved out of state in 2018. Then came the pandemic. With that, plus some travel anxiety and my introverted nature, I just never made it back for a visit. Lately, I've been back in touch with my dad and stepmom more consistently, and now a reunion might finally be possible. I want that, but I'm also preparing myself for the awkwardness. It's not like I was off building schools abroad or living a wild adventure. I'm just a quiet guy in a long-term relationship. 9 years in private because I'm gay, with a dog and some niche hobbies. I do feel guilt. I missed out on being a brother. I wonder what kind of kid he is, what he's into, whether we get along, if we'd share any interests. Part of me even jokes that for all he knows, I might not even exist. Maybe he thinks I died or something. This is more of a reflection than a request for advice. But if anyone's reconnected with a much younger sibling after a long absence, I'd love to hear how it went. What helped? What would you do differently? Story 22. This was in high school. I had this friend I met in our 3rd year. He was okay except for the times when he was extremely annoying. I sat in front of him, in the back row of the class. Sometimes he would randomly say, "Let's go," and hit the back of my head. I tolerated it at first because I didn't want to make a scene, and I thought he'd eventually stop. But he didn't. I told him to back off, and he would, for a few days or a week, but then he'd start again. We almost got into a fight over it. He also wasn't doing well academically. From what I remember, he failed or barely passed math, chemistry, and English. For some exams, I even let him cheat off my paper, for a fee. These were IB classes too. Then came the biology final. It was supposed to be easier because the last one was tough. He was on the verge of failing, so he asked if he could copy my answers. I said, "Sure, this one's on me." But during the exam, I looked at the questions, figured out the correct answers, and deliberately marked the wrong ones on my sheet, except for a few easy ones, so it wouldn't seem suspicious. After he finished and dozed off, as I expected, I changed my answers to the correct ones. Later, he even told me he changed one of his answers because he thought I was wrong. That was one of the few I had left correct. He got it wrong. He failed. I didn't show up the day our exams were returned. When he asked me later how I did, I told him my score was terrible. He got something in the 30s or 20s. I got a 90-something. He was already in trouble with the school. After that biology result and his other failing grades, he ended up quitting IB and wasn't in our class anymore. Peace at last. And for those wondering why I didn't just switch seats, the class had a seating chart, and changing spots would have caused unnecessary drama and backlash. Story 23. I just turned 28 and I'm still a virgin. Never had a girlfriend or even kissed anyone. For the longest time, I thought I was a failure because of it. Since I was a teenager, it was the one thing I wanted most. Love, intimacy, affection. Every girl I ever liked didn't like me back. All the rejection wore me down.
Hey, brother,
I tortured myself with it for years.
I
used
feel
to
that,
see it
brother.
as the great tragedy of my life, but now for some reason, I just feel at peace. I'm completely calm about it. I feel nothing. I never wanted kids, so I never had to worry about accidental pregnancy or child support. I never got an STD. Sure, I may have missed out on some good experiences, but honestly, I love the life I have. I can travel whenever I want. I can switch jobs or pursue different paths without worrying about a partner or a family. I've had a kind of awakening. I'd still like to experience love at least once, just to know what it feels like, but it doesn't weigh me down anymore. I have complete freedom, no obligations, no responsibilities like a spouse or children. I just live. Story 24. I've made a post about this somewhere else, but deleted it out of shame. Over this last summer, my brother came into my room extremely drunk. We were just talking, but he got very emotional and came in to hug me. I was lying in my bed and he was hugging me, but he kept pulsating the hug, and every time he squeezed, my chest would press up against him. This went on for a while. It happened twice in the same setting. I have to say I was quite mortified, which I'm still unsure if I should be. Some days I really love my brother because he's funny and a good person to be around, but other days he's really scary and selfish, and I just feel afraid. I did not like what he did, and I went and told my mom. She told me it wasn't his intention and basically dismissed me, but it didn't change the way it made me feel. I cried over it a couple of times, but tried to convince myself that my brother wouldn't do something like that to me. I feel so lost and confused, and I'm scared to tell my therapist. I don't know why I feel like my emotions are wrong. Is it because I was told he didn't mean it? I wrote a letter to him about it and left it in his room. After that, he stopped drinking for a while, but he didn't say anything to me. Eventually, he started drinking again, and he grabbed my hand in a very aggressive way. It brought all those feelings back. I don't know what to do with all of this. It eats away at me whenever it comes back into my mind. Story 25. I had a terrible drinking problem from my teen years up until I was in my 30s. At one point, it stopped being fun. I was in a relationship with someone who asked me to quit, and the hangovers were getting unbearable. So I stopped. For over a decade, I was able to stay away from alcohol completely. Lately, though, I've been struggling mentally and emotionally. I started allowing myself one beer on the weekends. It felt manageable at first, but now I've been spiraling, really depressed and lonely. I started sneaking out after dinner, walking to the corner store, and drinking a beer outside on weeknights. On Sunday night, I drank enough that I felt it all day at work the next day. Last night, I drank my usual beer, but I wanted more. The store was closed, so I went to a hotel bar down the street. Since it was Cinco de Mayo, I ended up having margaritas and more beer. I got drunk. I rambled incoherently to the bartender before leaving, trying to be flirty, but mostly just embarrassing myself. I didn't get home until after midnight, and I'm usually in bed before 10 p.m. My alarm didn't wake me, and I had to rush to get ready with a 5-minute wash-up. Now I'm at my desk, feeling completely useless and unproductive. Sometimes I really hate myself for this. Story 26. From the other side of nearly a year since we last saw each other, I wanted to tell you how truly sorry I am for my part in our breakup, especially for what I put you through before it ended, but also for the poor decisions I made afterward. Losing you was the hardest thing I've ever had to face in life. I still have a great deal of love for you and always will. I recognize now that we weren't good for each other anymore. I think about you often and the huge impact you've had on my life. My last email, where I asked you to treat me like I'm gone, was unnecessarily dramatic, but I needed some kind of relief. I wasn't eating or sleeping, and it was a desperate attempt to regain control over a very broken state of mind. The last time you came over and told me to give you some time, I found out you had stayed over at A's house that night. It sent me into a dark place where I made terrible choices for a while. Anyway, take care. Maybe I'll see you around. Story 27. 2 years ago, I had a little family, a job, a smile on my face, and never did I think I'd be where I am now. As I smoke my last bowl, I find myself contemplating why I even wake up, why I'm still here, why I don't just stop existing. That little family turned out to be a lie. The kids weren't mine, and the person I was with was consistently unfaithful, even while I was raising her first child like my own. I lost my job because I couldn't be there when I was needed. So many people in my family passed away suddenly, and I just couldn't keep up anymore. I lost myself. I lost everything. Debt piled up, and I had no money left to survive. Every cent I had went towards substances to numb the constant pain I felt. I got arrested, and I didn't even care. I might be in more trouble now, and I still don't care. I used to be happy. I used to be full of life. Now I look into the darkness, thinking about a life full of lies. All that's left is an empty soul, waiting for the last breath, quietly hoping it comes soon. Story 28. I used to work for a shady company that pretended to offer personal loans. I was broke when I took the job. I needed the money badly, and this company, based outside the US, promised good pay and a simple sales role. I didn't ask too many questions. I should have. From day one, it felt off. We were told to call people hundreds of times a day, telling them they were pre-approved for a loan. You could hear the hope in their voice. It was like someone had finally thrown them a lifeline, but it was all a lie. There was no loan. It was just a bait and switch into a debt resolution program. We convinced people we could negotiate with their creditors, lower their payments, and get them out of debt. But what we didn't say was that their credit would be wrecked. We told them to stop paying their bills so we could negotiate. That's when everything collapsed for them, like pulling the floor out from someone who was already drowning. I only worked there for a short time, but every night I went home feeling sick, like I was scamming people who trusted me because I sounded like someone who cared. I needed the money, but it felt like I was selling my soul one call at a time. My breaking point? An 85-year-old woman from Texas, sweetest voice you've ever heard. She thought she was getting a loan to fix her roof before winter. She was scared it might collapse. Something about her voice just stopped me. I told her the truth. I said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but please don't pick up any more calls from this number. It's not what they say it is." Then I hung up and I quit right then and there. If your phone's blowing up with loan offers that sound too good to be true, Trust your gut. It might be a trap. It might be someone like I used to be. Don't fall for it. I never wanted to hurt anyone, but I did, and I'll always carry that. Story 29. I honestly don't know how to begin this. I've lied to my parents about going to university for almost 2 years. When I tell them I'm going to class,
For 2
I've actually
years
just
is
been sitting in my
crazy.
car, wasting gas and time. I've been stuck in front of my computer, battling a serious addiction to it. College felt like it was in the way. I've been struggling with depression and dark thoughts due to a lack of human connection and always feeling like a burden to my parents. My Hispanic parents have sacrificed so much for me, and instead of honoring their dream of seeing me graduate, I've been lying to them. Today, I finally ripped off the Band-Aid. Graduation was only a few days away, and I had no other choice. I told my dad since my mom was out of town, and he completely shut down when he found out I hadn't been attending college. I don't know how to make things right. For a long time, my plan was to join the military and just disappear, but I couldn't go through with it because I love my parents. I owe them everything. I'm still considering joining the Army as a way out, but I'm not even sure I'm Army material. I've never had clear direction academically and have always struggled in school. I'm scared of my future. I'm hoping others out there, especially parents or people who've been in similar situations, can give me some advice. I don't really use Reddit, but over the past few days, reading stories from others in similar shoes has been
I'm over here
eye-opening.
just listening
People
to Reddit
always
stories.
say, just rip the Band-Aid off and tell them.
Listening
honestly,
to people's
it's
fucked up
true.
stories.
Confessing lifted an enormous weight off my chest. I haven't been punished yet, and I'll share updates. But I can say this. My parents would rather have me confess than disappear or do something drastic. Once you take that first step, everything slowly starts to fall into place. It's hard. It's terrifying, but it's liberating. Story 30. Well, it all started like this.
Damn, we done been through
I'm a
30
20-year-old
stories, so I ain't
woman,
even gonna
and
count.
about a month
Holy
ago, I
shit.
was looking for a job, specifically something as a cashier. I had been searching for a while when I came across a post on Facebook offering the exact kind of job I wanted. I immediately messaged the profile. The job sounded great, decent pay, and what seemed like a good work environment. The first step was an internship to evaluate how well I could handle customers. I went for it. Everything seemed fine at first. There were already other girls
The
working
first
there.
like 4
Then I met the
stories
boss.
were really good.
At first
The
glance,
rest of these, they
she
were
seemed like a
alright.
decent person, but as time went on, things
One of them
turned into a
definitely
nightmare.
felt fake.
She always wanted everything done now. She would make comments to customers like, "Of course she's slow," or "It makes me angry when she doesn't do what I ask." She always had something negative to say. She acted like everyone was trying to steal from her. If you were late even by a minute, she'd say it was 30 minutes. If you clocked in
get
at
some little
8:01,
music.
she'd treat it like 8:30. One
Mr.
day I was
Ballin'
assigned to
sto-
clean
no,
the
who is-
tablecloths and
Who that? Who's that? Who's Mr. Ballin?
rags used for cooking and cleaning. I took about 7 hours because I was folding everything properly and organizing the space. I stepped away from my regular area to do this. When I explained why it took so long, she ignored me, as usual. The next week, she told me I'd be better off working as cleaning staff in her house.
Alright, we about to put that
That's
on
when
next.
things got
This
worse.
almost over
If she
anyway.
was rude at the store, imagine how she'd
Ballin'.
act in her own home. I started helping her there too, trying to adjust.
I don't
But
know
then,
what cologne I
guess
want to
what?
wear today.
My pay went down, and it was already terrible. I was getting paid $18 per hour, and they still wanted me to work 10-hour shifts. Everything went downhill. The pay was bad. Her comments were inappropriate. And whenever she scolded someone, she'd do it right in front of the store's customers, making it even more humiliating. Honestly, I'm fed up. Her energy is just toxic, and I feel like it's starting to rub off on me. I'm about to quit. I'm just waiting until the end of my shift so I can pick up my pay, and then I'm done. If anyone has any advice on how
Shut up. That was lame. That was lame. Mr. Ballin. Okay. Well, let's see what Mr. Ballin got going on. Let's see what his latest shit be. 1 day ago. Alright.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code.
Why
This
my
is
ad
Base
blocker's not
44.
working?
Today, we have two stories about people who have near-death
Yay.
experiences. And then after the initial trauma of the experience has passed, they're like, okay, I'm good now, I'm safe, everything's fine. But no, they were not okay, as they would soon learn. But before we get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format,
you might have
come
put
to
me
the right
on some
place,
shit,
because that's
Midnight.
all we do.
You might have put
upload
me
2,
on
3,
some
even
shit.
4
Oh, no.
times every week.
Oh, no.
So, if that's of interest to you, please sneak into the like button's house and on their bathroom mirror, write "I'm watching you" in red lipstick. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications.
Oh no, I also do
so
a
you don't
thing to
miss
send in
any
a
of our
day.
weekly
Hold on.
uploads.
I'm gonna show y'all my
Okay,
cologne
let's
for
get
the day.
into today's stories.
I know what cologne I want to wear today.
On the morning of April 29th, 1963, a woman named Sophia Perez was
days.
riding in the passenger seat of her car. Her husband Julian
Today's
was driving,
fragrance is gonna
and they were
be
traveling down a narrow city street in Sevilla, Spain.
eat
It was a
times.
Monday, but Julian, who was the primary breadwinner, he didn't have work that day. And so the couple had decided, since it was such a beautiful spring day as well, that they would get out and
today's
go on a
fragrance
nice
of the
drive
day.
and just spend some time together. And for Sophia,
liking
I mean, this
today.
was like a perfect day. She adored her husband, and she really loved the city of
No,
Sevilla. You know,
I
all the
got a
people
lot
there
of
were so
cologne.
nice
I wear
and
cologne every
friendly, and it
day.
was such a beautiful place that like this was shaping up to be really a tremendous day. And so Sophia and her husband, they are all smiles as they continue driving down this road. You know, Sophia, she's looking out, taking in the sights and the sounds, and then at some point she just has this inclination to pull out her lipstick and, you know, apply her lipstick. And so she reaches down and she grabs her purse, which she brought with her everywhere. She was a very organized person. And she opened it up and she's rifling through it and
feel
she
me,
finds her
you
lipstick,
feel
and then
me.
she grabbs the rear view mirror and she turns it and she uses it to apply the lipstick.
try to be-
And as she's doing this,
I'm
she begins
ugly as hell.
asking
I can at
Julian,
least
like,
try to
hey, you
smell
know,
good.
what should we do for the rest of the day? Like beyond this drive, what else should we do? And as she's sort of half looking at the mirror and half looking at Julian, she sees a blur of motion out in front of the car. And then she turns and she realizes there's someone in the intersection that they're gonna hit. It's a guy on a motorcycle. And before she could say anything, Julian is swerving hard to the right to try to avoid this guy. It's like absolute madness. And then the motorcyclist, he tips over and he goes into a slide. And then Julian and Sophia, they ram off the road onto the sidewalk and smash into this huge pole. And pretty much right away, Sophia, after the car had come to a stop in front of this huge, you know, metal pole, Sophia began like patting herself down to sort of assess the damage to make sure she was okay. And then she looked over at her husband, Julian, who was sort of doing the same thing, and they realized that, you know, obviously despite the horribleness of this crash, that they were okay. But then their attention turned to the motorcyclist, because even though Julian didn't hit him, they narrowly missed him. You know, he swerved away and they crashed into this pole. Despite that, one of the last things Sophia saw before they swerved is the motorcyclist had tipped over and gone into a skid, so they had no idea if he was okay or not. And so Sophia and Julian, they carefully climbed out of their pretty wrecked vehicle, and again, they stood and kind of checked to make sure they really were okay, because now they're standing for the first time, but, you know, they're okay. And they walked a little ways, you know, across the street to this other sort of side street where the motorcyclist had skidded off to. And right over there, he was standing. The man who was on the motorcycle, he was standing next to his bike. And, you know, obviously his bike had had some damage done to it, but the man, the motorcyclist, he looked unhurt as well. So
Okay.
this was like an enormous, in some ways, stroke of luck.
Everybody
Obviously,
fine.
it was bad to get into the accident, but all three of them appeared to be okay. And so Sophia and Julian, they walk over to the motorcyclist, and, you know, the three of them were really amicable. I mean, the motorcyclist understood that, you know, accidents happen, you know, thank goodness nobody was hurt. And just for a few minutes, the three of them just chatted and sort of just talked about how lucky they really were here, and they exchanged information, you know, so they could cover the damages if they needed to of the respective vehicles. And as they're just sitting there having this, you know, relatively calm and just normal conversation here, Sophia looks over at Julian and she realizes, you know, he was basically unhurt, but not entirely unhurt. He had this scratch on his face that was bleeding a fair amount, that very likely was from the crash. And even though by no means is this like life-threatening or anything like that, Sophia was not at the moment talking to the motorcyclist, and so she figured she would just go back over to the car and grab her purse, because she's very organized and she has something in that purse for every situation. She figured she very likely had like a bandage or something she could use to clean up her husband's cut. And so she told her husband and the motorcyclist she was gonna go get her purse and go grab a bandage or something. She goes over to the car, which is still smashed up on the side of the road, of course, and there's a little bit of a crowd of people sort of relatively nearby, kind of assessing the scene. She makes her way around towards the passenger side because her purse was still in the car in the passenger seat. And as she was coming around, getting ready to reach through the open door to grab her purse, which was sitting right there on the seat, something happened. Like, she got close enough to the car where, like, suddenly she felt this intense pain all through her body. And then it was like she couldn't even move, and she found herself falling towards the ground, looking up at the sky, and like her muscles are beginning to spasm. And the last thing she saw was her husband and the motorcyclist running over to her. And then, to her horror, as she's laying there looking up at them, they too began to sort of seize up and spasm and fall to the ground right next to her. It would turn out that when Julian swerved to avoid that motorcyclist and crashed into that pole, neither he nor Sophia realized that that pole was actually connected to a power line that held up electrical lines carrying a huge amount of electrical voltage. And during the crash, a few of those lines from the pole had been knocked down to the ground, and they fell around Sophia and Julian's car. When the couple first got out of the vehicle, they sort of miraculously avoided stepping on those lines. And if they had just stayed over there, with the motorcyclist and just hadn't gone back to the vehicle, they would have been fine. But Sophia, whose purse always had exactly what she needed, was in the car, and she wanted to get it and get that bandage. And so when she went back, she stepped on one of those lines and she was electrocuted. And so she's on the ground, she can't move.
Damn.
And her husband and the motorcyclist, they see this happening, they hear it happening, and they run over unaware of the danger. And they too are hit by those electrical lines. They fall to the ground, and all three were electrocuted to death.
Damn. They all died. They all got
The
saved from the
ASPCA
wreck,
provides critical
but died
care
after the wreck.
and trains others to do the same, improving the lives of
I'm
animals
almost out of cheese,
and those who
y'all.
love them.
We'll take it from here.
See you on the other side.
Alright, Pluto, can we watch my video now? Rock bottom.
On January 11th, 2018, around 10 a.m., 55-year-old Ray Wright sawed through a wooden board inside of his workshop, which was located about 20 minutes outside of Rockland, California. Now, Ray had only just begun his workday, but he was already covered in sawdust. However, he barely noticed, because this was just a normal part of his job as a carpenter, something he absolutely loved. He loved his career. In fact, Ray really just sort of loved everything about his life and sort of how it was going these days. And that had not always been the case.
How do you
so
know?
About 6 years earlier,
How do
Ray
you
was in a
know?
very different and much worse
Motherfucker.
place in his life. He'd been recently divorced and had started drinking a lot, and he'd spiraled, further and further out of control until one night he'd gotten really drunk and then hopped behind the wheel, and he caused a terrible accident when he crashed head-on into another vehicle. Now, Ray was more or less okay after that crash, but he'd actually severely injured the people in the car that he had hit. And so Ray had been arrested and sentenced to 18 months in prison, and he was ordered to pay a huge monetary settlement to the victims of this crash. And so really, this had been like the true rock bottom moment of Ray's life. But by the time Ray actually got out of jail, he was determined to really turn his life around and become a better person. He'd stopped drinking, and he had joined Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a very well-known support group that helps keep people sober. He'd started spending way more time with his 3 kids and also his brother Dean, and he'd been renting this particular workshop that he was in right now to revamp his carpentry business, Ray Wright Design. And then also, like, in addition to these specific behavioral changes, overall, Ray had made this huge effort to really shift his thinking about, like, the way he approached life. He decided he was gonna really try hard to just have a much more positive attitude in general and just try to be happier. Like, he believed it was more of a mindset, and he really was trying hard to stay in that positive, happy mindset.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Where vibe coding meets drag and drop freedom. We'll see about that. All right, let me try to make up a site to sell some like theoretical kombucha. Make me a site about kombucha. Make it look nice and pretty and highlighting the products. Refine my prompt. Okay, let's do that.
Ad blocker ain't working.
However, despite these wholesale changes in Ray's behavior and his mindset, which were definitely all good, the one thing he was up against that was very difficult to change, since coming out of prison, was his financial situation. I mean, he really just didn't make a whole lot of money, despite working really hard as a carpenter now. He just didn't make a lot of money. And this really didn't just affect his life, it affected other people's lives as well. Because, he needed to make those huge settlement payments to the victims of the crash, which he intended to do. But so far, he had not made enough money to make those payments, and it was definitely stressing him out.
Hey, my boy,
he knew he needed to make those payments.
My boy, bro!
Ray was sort of determined that he would just continue to work really hard, continue to build up his business, continue to stay positive, stay happy, be a good person, and eventually he was sure to make these payments and everything would be okay. So in essence, Ray still had problems, but he was working really hard to just stay on the straight and narrow and do the right thing. Now, Ray blew some of the sawdust off the board that he had just cut, and he set it aside. And then, as he was about to start on the next thing, he realized one of the tools that he needed was out in his truck. So he walked through the shop's big warehouse-style doors that opened out onto a dirt driveway. So the workshop where Ray worked was in a fairly rural area with only one immediate neighbor who lived in a trailer right next door on the same property. And the person who owned the trailer was a woman named Katie. But, despite there only being Katie next door, there was still a fair amount of people just sort of coming and going around the place, like Katie's friends and Ray's clients. So the area was actually usually pretty lively.
No good.
But this morning, as he stepped outside onto the driveway, it was pretty quiet. So Ray just made his way out to his truck and grabbed what he needed from inside, and then he turned and began walking back towards the shop. However, before he actually got to the shop, he heard footsteps on the driveway right behind him. 2 days later, Ray's brother Dean drove his car through some back roads as he made his way towards Ray's house in Rockland, California. Dean had just been to Ray's workshop, and now he was making the 20-minute drive back to Ray's home yet again. And the reason he was doing that is because Dean was really worried. He hadn't heard from his brother in 2 days, and neither had Ray's kids or any of Ray's friends. And this was like very unusual. Dean, himself talked to Ray every single day. And he also knew that Ray was a very involved and responsive dad who would definitely not just disappear on his kids. And he was also definitely in touch with other friends. I mean, this was just very unusual for Ray. So over the past 48 hours, Dean had been increasingly getting more and more worried about Ray. He had been talking to anyone he could to try to figure out why his brother was just suddenly gone. He'd already gone to Ray's workshop and his house repeatedly, and he hadn't found Ray or any sign of Ray or any sign of where he might have gone. And also Ray's truck was nowhere to be found either. And that was actually particularly concerning because, deep down, Dean was worried that, despite the changes Ray had made in his life to be a better person and to do right by people, he was worried that, maybe Ray had fallen off the wagon and was drinking again. Maybe that's why he's gone. He's on a bender somewhere. Now, Dean really didn't want to face that reality. That would be devastating for so many reasons, not to mention, if Ray was off drinking somewhere, who knows what trouble he could be in. He could be in a lot of trouble or hurt or something. And so Dean, by this point, 48 hours into his brother's disappearance, he's just doing his best to kind of push down this growing concern that maybe that's what happened. And in fact, it was actually that sort of nagging fear that Dean had kept him from going to the police and reporting Ray missing. There was just this fear that if he did that, it would sort of expose Ray if he was, not doing what he was supposed to be doing. And so by this point, Dean had held off. Now, Dean parked his car outside of Ray's house again, and he got out, and, Ray's truck was not back yet. But Dean was determined that he would just go back inside and take another look around to see if maybe he had missed something. Maybe there was some clue as to where, Ray went or what he was up to. So Dean walked up to his brother's front door and he let himself inside, and immediately Dean stopped because he smelled something. It smelled like marijuana smoke inside the house, which was really, really odd. I mean, one, because the last time he was here, he definitely did not smell marijuana smoke, but more than that, Ray, his brother, had definitely once been a very heavy drinker. That was true. But he had always hated marijuana. Like, he did not smoke marijuana. And so Dean's standing in the doorway trying to make sense of this, when from the other side of the room, he hears somebody shouting at him to leave. And he sees on the other side of the room, this man has suddenly popped up who Dean did not know, who was looking right at him, basically gesturing for Dean to get out of the house. But Dean, he's sort of like, what's going on here? He looks at this guy and he's like, who are you? Like, what are you doing in here? And the guy went very quickly from being sort of demanding to Dean to very spooked, turning and sprinting out the door, out of sight.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of following a laid-out path. Explore a vast open world. Everything you do has an impact on Albion's player.
Shut the fuck up.
Within the hour, a police officer with the Rockland Police Department pulled his cruiser up outside of a small one-story home in Rockland and parked. He saw a man waiting outside the garage, and as the officer got out of his car, the man rushed up and introduced himself as Dean, the person who had called 911. Dean explained to the officer that he had just seen an intruder here inside of his brother's home, and that his brother was also missing. And so the officer took down some notes, both about the intruder and also about, Dean's brother's absence and why him being gone for 2 days was really out of character. And so after the officer finished speaking to Dean, he went inside of Ray's house to take a look around and see if, there was any evidence left behind by the intruder to indicate who they were, or if there was any evidence about, where Ray was, and maybe that this intruder had something to do with Ray's absence. But once inside the home, the officer saw there was no sign of forced entry or any kind of mess or violence, so it didn't immediately seem like the intruder had robbed the place or gotten into some kind of physical fight with its owner. But still, the officer left the property and went back to his cruiser and called it in. And so over the next few days, the Rockland Police Department sort of led 2 parallel investigations. There was the investigation into this intruder inside of Ray's home, which really wasn't going very far. They had very little evidence. There was barely a description of this guy from Dean, who did not get a good look at him. And then the other investigation was into Ray's disappearance. And there was definitely some thinking that the intruder and Ray's disappearance could be connected, but as of right now, they didn't know. But with regards to Ray's disappearance, after the police had spoken to Ray's family and friends, they determined that no one had seen or spoken to him since January 11th. That was like the first sort of hard date and hard fact that they had. They also checked into Ray's bank account and phone activity, and they learned he hadn't used them since January 11th, when apparently he went missing. But beyond those details, like as the weeks went on, really nothing else came in, not about the intruder or about Ray. Then on January 21st, so 10 days after Ray went missing, the Rockland Police Department got their first, big new lead, and that was Ray's truck had been found. He was not in it. It had been found totally abandoned in this apartment complex that was not far from his workshop. A couple of months later, on an afternoon in late March,
that was the end of the story.
Rockland Police Sergeant Zach Lewis sat at his desk at the station, going over Ray's case file for what he felt like was the millionth time. So, since finding Ray's truck, basically no new leads had come in. And even that, the finding of Ray's truck really had not been the break that the police had really hoped it would be. The truck was basically in decent working condition. The only thing that really stood out was the plates had been taken off of it. But after they searched the truck extensively, they basically didn't find anything. Nothing that gave away what happened to Ray or where he was, or, whether or not this intruder had something to do with Ray. It just really didn't go anywhere. So Sergeant Lewis was feeling pretty stuck when it came to this case. And so right now he was just looking through the information they already had on this case to see if maybe he had missed something. However, as he began doing this, another officer ran through the station towards his desk, waving around some sheets of paper. And this officer ran right up to Lewis, and he slammed the papers down on his desk and explained that the California Highway Patrol had just sent a report over because they thought it might contain a lead in Ray's case. And here was the lead. And so Lewis is really excited. He grabs the document and he sees it's a report. And it's about this van that had gotten in an accident at the end of January, a few miles south of Rocklin in Sacramento. The driver of this van had been extremely drunk and was going over 100 miles an hour when he crashed. And somewhat miraculously, nobody got hurt, including the driver. And so the driver, he survives, and now he's facing all these charges of drunk driving and reckless driving. But the reason this report was sent over to Rocklin was because the driver was a man named Victor Gray. That's what his license said. So after the crash, the police discovered that the license plate on the van that Victor had been driving was definitely the right license plate. However, the registration stickers that were on the license plates were not the right ones. Basically, Victor or somebody had taken stickers from some other vehicle and put them on this van's plates to give the impression that their vehicle, this van, was registered. But when they tracked those registration stickers, they discovered those stickers actually belonged to Ray Wright's abandoned truck. Now,
Alright.
We'll take it from
We
here.
might be getting somewhere.
See you on the other side.
They're gonna make me watch these fucking ads.
Now, Rocklin's police department knew this was a huge lead, and they could not screw it up. And so they wanted to make sure that they handled, whatever they did next exactly right, and they leveraged whatever resources they could get. So, over the next few weeks, Lewis and his team reached out to the FBI to help them process Victor's van and collect any potential evidence that was associated with Ray's disappearance. And a little over a month later, on May 8th, 2018, Lewis stood with a few of his other officers in a parking lot not far from Rocklin, watching as a team of FBI agents searched Victor's van. Now, by this point, they had discovered that this van not only had Ray's registration stickers on it, but also inside of the van was a lot of Ray's stuff. They had found Ray's glasses, which were smashed. They had found Ray's cell phone, which was also smashed. They found his wallet. They found a hat that said Ray Wright design on it. And critically, they found Ray's rain jacket, and it was covered in blood and partially charred, like it had been burned. And so at this point, it seemed fairly obvious to investigators that Ray was not just missing. He didn't just, go off the wagon and start drinking again and go disappear somewhere. No, he very likely had been killed. And very likely, this guy Victor Gray had something to do with it. But the problem was, there was no obvious connection between Victor Gray and Ray Wright. They were total strangers. And when they tried to speak to Victor, to interrogate him, to try to get him to open up and explain if he had something to do with this, if he knew who Ray was, Victor was not talking. So that was a total dead end. And so now investigators were just hoping that, whatever evidence they found in this van, that once it was, sent off and analyzed, that hopefully that would sort of maybe begin to explain what actually happened here. Was this just a random robbery gone wrong? Victor was just robbing Ray and it got violent? Or was it something else? Or who knows what? They just didn't know. Now, Lewis watched as the FBI agents wrapped up the search of the van and, they began packing things up. So it was clear they had sort of pulled all the evidence they were going to pull. And, Sergeant Lewis and his team, they were about to leave when suddenly one of the FBI agents who was searching the front of the van in the front 2 seats, he began waving his arm like he had found something. And so Lewis and the others, they go running over and they look inside the van, and this agent is pointing down to like the center of the front of this van, basically near the center console. And there was this little space underneath the center console that apparently nobody had looked in yet. And inside of this little space was another cell phone.
Hold on, man. What's up, Mike?
Something. And so Lewis and the others, they go running over and they look inside the van, and this agent is pointing down to like the center of the front of this van, basically near the center console. And there was this little space underneath the center console that apparently nobody had looked in yet. And inside of this little space was another cell phone. 5 months later, on an afternoon in October, Lewis pulled his cruiser into the dirt driveway right outside of Ray's workshop. But when Lewis and the other detective that he was with got out of their car, they ran past Ray's workshop and went to the trailer next door, where Lewis knew a woman named Katie Barnard lived. And so Lewis stood back as the other detective knocked on the door of the trailer, and a few seconds later, a very timid-looking woman, Katie, came to the door and she asked what was going on. And when Lewis explained to her why they were there, Katie went from looking timid to looking downright terrified. And she just began to shake, like she clearly understood why they were here. So they took her down to the station, and pretty much as soon as she was sitting inside of an interrogation room and they began asking her questions, Katie just completely broke and told them everything she knew. So ever since Ray got out of prison for that drunk driving accident, he really had been single-mindedly focused on trying to be a better person and not letting his rock bottom moment sort of ruin his life. And he'd done a great job doing that. He'd gotten sober, he'd begun, spending much more time with his family. He was like a very present father now. He was very well liked in the community. However, even though Ray, had good intentions here, the reality was he was just sort of focusing on rebuilding his own life. He wasn't really trying to help other people. Like his post-jail efforts were sort of all about him. And his self-improvement journey had really not been beneficial for everyone, because Ray had really not truly atoned or done right by the person he had hurt the most, one of the victims of his drunk driving accident, a man named Bob Manor. Bob had been absolutely furious with Ray after the accident because the accident had severely injured him, Bob, to the point where Bob had a permanent limp. And then Ray had stopped making those court-mandated settlement payments to Bob. He was supposed to, but he just wasn't making them. And so Bob is like incensed. It's like, how dare you? You hurt me, you hurt my family, and you're not even paying for it. Like, jail isn't enough. And so for Bob, it became like an obsession that he really wanted to get his revenge on Ray. And it just so happened that Bob was not just a guy with a grudge. Bob was a very violent drug dealer as well. So this was a really big deal for him. So basically, after Ray got out of prison, Bob began obsessing over where Ray was. Like, he wanted to literally discover his address so he could physically go and take his revenge, but he couldn't find Ray. He could not find the information. No one was going to give it to him, for this reason exactly. And so he was just furious all the time. He wants to find Ray, but he has no way of knowing where he lives. Then, just by pure happenstance, Bob ends up dating a woman named Katie Barnard, who just so happens to live in the trailer right next door to the shop in Rockland, California, where Ray worked. And, Bob had no idea. He's just over visiting with Katie all the time. And one day he looks out the window, and who does he see walking out of the doors of that shop? Ray Wright. After that, and you have to understand that some of this stuff actually was never fully explained, Bob hired a man named Victor Gray to kidnap Ray for him, because he wasn't going to do it himself. He needed to catch Ray off guard. And so Victor Gray kidnaps Ray, and he apparently brings Ray to Bob so that Bob can exact his revenge on Ray. Now, we don't know exactly what happened once Bob potentially received Ray. We don't know if Ray ever actually made it to Bob, but we do know at some point Victor did kidnap Ray, and there was definitely revenge, on the agenda. But what Bob ultimately failed to do that got him caught and got Victor caught and got this whole thing blown up was he didn't pay Victor for the kidnapping. So the very thing that Bob was so mad about really was like, how dare Ray do this to me and then not pay me? Well, Bob did the same thing to Victor. He didn't pay him. And Victor was also a violent person. He's a convicted felon, and he didn't take that lightly. And so what did he do? He wrote a letter to Bob basically being like, hey, I kidnapped this guy for you, and I handed him to you. Like, I handed him over, and you haven't paid me yet. And then he took pictures of this letter, and those pictures were on that phone that was found underneath the center console of Victor Gray's van.
Oh,
those
shit.
pictures of this letter are what connected Victor to Bob, and then the connection from Bob to Ray was already known. And then also critically, because Victor hadn't been paid by Bob for this kidnapping, he took the liberty of not only kidnapping Ray, but he went back and stole the registration stickers off of Ray's truck, and he put them on his own van. And then ultimately, it was that led to Victor getting caught and this whole, con being exposed. Now, we actually don't know specifically what happened to Ray Wright. All we know is that he definitely was kidnapped, and that Bob ordered the kidnapping, and that realistically, Bob is a pretty violent guy. Victor's a violent guy. There's blood found all over, Ray's stuff. It seemed pretty apparent that the revenge that was exacted on Ray involved his murder. But Ray's body was never found, and so we don't really know what happened to him. However, using overwhelming circumstantial evidence, both Bob Manor and Victor Gray were both convicted of first-degree murder and kidnapping, and they were sentenced to life in prison without parole. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. And remember, we have a whole playlist of Places You Can't Go episodes ready for you to binge right now. So go ahead and click here and give them a watch. All right, until next time, see ya.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What else we got? What else we got?
Today, I'm going to share 3 progressively more unbelievable stories, and at the end of each of them, I will share the famous photo or photos that are associated with them. But before we get into those stories...
Oh, Lord.
I'm 95% sure that this person is who they say they are.
This man wants to know the truth about his internet girlfriend.
We just clicked, you could say. Of course, she's a beautiful woman. 5'3", probably weighs 125 pounds, the face of an angel and the body of a goddess. Her voice on the phone sounds exactly like her voice.
Body of a goddess!
I'm sorry we've been having a tough time recently.
Daniela claims she left the adult film industry for a better relationship with God.
She quit because she realized that was not a good thing.
I've seen the industry take down a lot.
30K is wild, I'm trying to tell you.
She asked me for money to help pay her bills. Usually get an Apple gift card.
Leaving the industry has caused Daniela to go broke, and that's when Robert started sending all of this money.
Actually, it's 100 transactions just in 2022.
Robert's ex-wife has laughed at the thought of him thinking this is real.
My friends and family, they all think I'm crazy, especially my ex-wife and some other people that I wasn't capable of getting anybody like that.
So he wants to prove his family wrong.
Just because I settled for her doesn't mean that I can't do better.
Is Daniela Roberts' next wife, or just another romance scammer? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement with our videos help us reach new audiences and can potentially stop other people from being scammed.
All right, team, we got another case. This one is from a man named Robert who's writing in and wants to know if this celebrity that he's speaking to is the real deal. I'll read the email. My story begins 6 years ago when I met someone online. And although I was suspicious at first, she convinced me she was real and we quickly connected. We planned to meet many times, and throughout the years, I supported her financially, paying her rent, buying food, and sending phones. I've paid for her to fly to me 3 times and even flown to her once. I've sent her around $30,000. And the situation is even more complicated because she is supposedly a famous person who stepped away from the spotlight before we met. I desperately need closure. Sincerely, Robert.
Hello, Catfish team. My name is Robert. I am 52 years old, and right now I'm living in Georgia. I'm self-employed. All of my free time I usually spend on working nowadays. If I'm not working on a job, I'm doing something at home. So that's about all I do. I got married in 2006, I think it was. My ex-wife had kids, but as far as on my own, no.
After being married for nearly 15 years, Robert and his wife began to grow apart. The two eventually decided to go through with a divorce.
So I was going through a rough time in my marriage and tried to talk to my wife about it, and her exact words to me was, everybody has problems, suck it up and find something to make you happy. Lots of mental abuse I took, and you know, I had my problems, she had hers. Before I got divorced, I had already moved out of the house and was staying in a hotel. I had built me a small house right next door to my ex-wife, matter of fact. I wanted to still be around there in case they needed me, but I hadn't got it finished yet. I didn't have electricity or anything hooked up to it yet, and I was at work on a Saturday, and on my way home from work, I got a phone call that said my house burned. I had no idea. The fire department didn't know either what caused it.
In the midst of Robert's life being turned upside down, he was contacted by a woman who caught his eye instantly.
Daniela Carl. I met her on Instagram. She messaged me.
Lord,
we hit it off,
Instagram.
and I was happy. She just, you know, it was just a good thing.
Why did I know it was
at the right
Instagram?
time? We just clicked, you could say. You know, we both like simple things. We don't have to be extravagant. We both like the same, you know, the outdoors, the beach. Seems like we both like. That one likes, the other one likes. She doesn't talk down to me. Doesn't try to tell me what to do. She doesn't try to act like my mother. Of course, she's a beautiful woman. The face of an angel and the body of a goddess. Most of the time she has blonde hair. She's about 5'3", probably weighs 125 pounds. And of course that was some of the thoughts of, well, especially my ex-wife and some other people, that I wasn't capable of getting anybody like that. Just because I settled for her doesn't mean that I can't do better. Her stage name is Jessa Rose, but her birth name is Daniela Carl. She was an adult film actress. She got out of the business in 2021. Searched on different things, and I come across you guys' website. So I did an image search, and that's how I found out who she was.
After Robert did some homework on Daniela using our website, socialcatfish.com, what he found out about her blew him away. Daniela was actually the adult film actress Jessa Rose, and she had performed in over 450 scenes.
I can't bring myself to watch them. I'm not one of those guys that watches a lot of that stuff anyway. So, but no, I just can't do it. The past is the past. But I had no idea who she was anyways. She lied to me about some things in the beginning. I didn't know when I first started talking to her that she was pregnant.
The little baby bump. Can we get the camera on that baby bump?
Yeah, I don't look that much different, guys. It's fine.
I mean, it just really looks like you just got a basketball underneath your shirt.
So after she had that baby, she quit work. All the money that she had from her, you know, being an actress, she's telling me she gave it all to the church, because she quit because, you know, she realized that was not a good thing she was doing, and she wanted to better herself.
I've seen the industry take down a lot of people.
Have a better image than what she had, and so she didn't want anything associated to that anymore. So that's why she give her money away and everything. We've talked on the phone, and I've had her to.
This shit gets wild. I'm trying to tell you. I ain't seen this one, and this is crazy. I love you, Robert.
And then take a picture holding it. Her voice on the phone sounds exactly like her voice that she's in the video that she sent me.
Good morning, darling. I'm sorry we've been having a tough time recently. I hope this make a change when you see this. I love you so much, Robert.
After some time chatting through Instagram, Daniela gave her address to Robert because he wanted to send her gifts.
I have sent stuff to that address, her address, and she's never gotten it.
AI is getting scary. AI is getting scary. No, that shit definitely was AI. Me and you know it was AI, but look at how old Robert is. Look at Robert old ass. Running out of space on this. Why am I running out of space? Look at how old Robert ass is, man.
Something about the house numbers aren't correct on that street or something, because the house on that street, the very last house on that street on the right, used to have 729 on it. And it's not the house that she showed me. The first time I sent a phone, it was delivered to this place, but when she went to go pick it up, they told her, they couldn't find it. And I had the phone set to where if anybody turned it on, it would notify me, this and that. It was never used. And the second one I sent to the address, she told me her address, but she never got it. And I can strictly remember that on one of my trips down there, that one of the pictures that she sent to me of her, she had a bracelet on, just like one of the ones that I sent. But she said that wasn't the ones I sent. I drove there so many times just to turn around and drive right back to Arkansas.
Robert's gifts went from being thoughtful gestures to something he felt obligated to do, just to keep a roof over Daniela's head. She claimed to be broke after leaving the industry and said he was the only one who could help her out.
Eventually, she asked me, of course, for money to help pay her bills. First started off, I was sending in Bitcoin. I usually do an Apple gift card is the only other way I have. Every once in a while, personal care items, electric bill, and food. I've paid for her to fly to me 3 times, and the last time we were supposed to meet was the day before I contacted you guys. I just bought, personally this time myself, bought the flight ticket and everything, and she got to the airport, the lady that drove her there, apparently she said they was both going to get out the car at the same time, but the lady didn't put the car in park, she put it in reverse, and they both tried to get out and it kind of run over her leg or something. It's the reason why she missed the flight.
After countless failed attempts to meet Robert, he feels hopeless. That's when he reached out to us. He has dreams one day of marrying this woman and building a life together.
She was going to come here, and we was, me and my dad, we were running a peanut stand. Here in Georgia, they're big on boiled peanuts, and they're really good, but, so that's what we did. We run a stand. Me and her was going to take it over and do that, but my main concern is, either getting her with me, and then we'll figure out the rest of it. I always wanted to try to prove whether if she was lying to me or not about receiving the packages and just, doing something else with the phones or whatever. I'm about to my end's point with it. But that's why I reached out to you guys, because I got to know for sure what's, I need to know. I'm 95% sure that this person is who they say they are. It's just that my friends and family, they all think I'm crazy. They think I'm, being played. But I've just never been able to conclusively pinpoint and say that, that I, that's where I'm at. I need proof before I say yay or nay.
Seekers, don't forget to stick around until the end. We'll run an IP tracker on Daniela.
She needed some money for some food and her light bill.
And any type of gift card, anything specific?
Apple gift card.
Okay, let's do this. Let's create a tracker link in the form of a gift card.
And reveal the truth to Robert about his relationship with her.
Trying to find, for sure about some of this stuff for 5 years, almost, I guess. Just ready to know.
By the time we get off this call, you will know everything.
That's good. That's what I want to know.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And once you've done that, give this video a like too. Alright Seekers, we needed to help Robert out, so the team got together to come up with a game plan for this case.
So 6 years and $30,000. I'm definitely glad he reached out to us, but that's a long time to talk to somebody and not know who they are.
On top of it, when we spoke to him, he is 95% sure that he's talking to the real person. He even flew to go meet her, and she stood him up, and he had to spend the night in the airport for 4 days.
So he's flown to her, and then he's also got in the car and drove to her house. That means we also have an address. But when he went to her house, she claims that every single house on the block has the wrong numbers. So in Google Maps or whatever, map application you're using, they don't match the correct numbers.
He also said that he sent iPhones to that address, bracelets. Some of the items never made it to the address, and that could have been one of the reasons why he drove 14 hours. There's a lot of things that she has told him that doesn't make sense, like this video.
Sorry, we've been having a tough time recently. I hope this make a change when you see this. I love you so much, Robert.
That's AI. The lips are slightly off from the volume, and then the eyes look weird.
If we can find the real video where we can see what she was really saying in the message, then we can share that with him.
I know a company who has a reverse image search. We could screenshot the video and try to find that out.
We'll get going. Get at it.
All right, so obviously this guy, he can't see the red flags within that video, so he really needs our help. What's the plan? How do we attack this as far as research?
I think we should start with finding out who the real person is and reach out to her and see if she knows a man by the name of Robert that
she's been dating.
So, we can definitely pull the street addresses and verify if those are actually real addresses. That's public record. It's something that would be registered with the county, so we can do that. We have the IP tracker.
All right, there's only one thing left to do, and that's create the IP tracker and have Robert send it off, and that's about it.
Cool, let's get to it.
All right.
Now that we had a game plan together, right after our meeting, Brienne hopped on a call to get an IP tracker sent out to Daniela from Robert's WhatsApp.
All right, Robert, so the reason why I wanted to meet with you today is to see if we can set up an IP tracker. Do you know anything about IP trackers?
Not much.
The purpose of doing this is to see where Daniela is located, because as of today, where does Daniela say she is currently at?
Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create a link, and the tracker will be embedded in the link. But if she clicks on it, we'll get some insight as to where she's located. So, for example, she claims she's in Waco, Texas. If she clicks on the link, she should be in Waco, Texas. If she's somewhere else in the United States or outside of the country, this would be a red flag. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and create that. But I do need to know the context of your guys' conversation day to day. So within the last 2-3 days, you guys have been talking about she needs you to send her some money.
She needed some money for some food and her light bill.
And any type of gift card, anything specific?
Apple gift card.
So what this is going to look like is a legitimate Apple gift card. She's going to click on the link. It's going to direct her to a site that shows
you was watching the other one with me the other day.
purchased
What you
an
want to do
Apple
was
gift
fucked up by a porn star.
And the only drawback is when
How
she
they
does
keep
click
filing
on
for
it,
porn stars?
she's going to see that she doesn't have an actual gift card. It's going to take her to the checkout page. I would advise just telling her you don't know what's going on and that you'll reach out to their customer support team.
Okay.
All right, sounds like a plan, Robert.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem. I'll chat with you soon. I'm going to send that to you in the next 5 minutes.
After Brienne created the IP tracker to send to Daniela, the team looked into the limited information Robert sent over to get some answers.
Hey Seekers, if you're only following us here, you're missing half the story.
Follow Catfish Online on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for updates and content we don't share on YouTube.
If you're looking to contact us and you think you might need our help finding out who you're communicating with online, or maybe you need help breaking through to a friend or a family member, don't hesitate to reach out to our email, sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We can help you find the answers you've been looking for. A couple of days later, David and Brienne sat down with Robert to show him what we had found.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert, how are you?
I'm good.
I spoke to you last night and you were feeling really nervous about everything. How are you feeling today?
I'm okay.
You seem nervous. You definitely seem nervous still, though.
Well, I am. Like I said, I've been trying to find, for sure about some of this stuff for 5 years almost, I guess. Just ready to know.
All 5 years of waiting, today, by the time we get off this call, you will know everything.
That's good. That's what I want to know.
The last time you and I spoke, you were at a 95%. This is who she says she is. She's Daniela. There was a comment that you had made about her not being the sharpest tool in the shed. What do you mean by that? How does that secure you that this is really her?
I just meant, she's what do you say, true blonde, a little dingy.
Is that attractive? I mean, is that like a quality you want in a woman, in a partner?
I guess so, because that's the type I've always attracted.
How so? Now I'm curious.
My ex-wife was, a little dingy, Not what I mean by a little dingy, they don't have a lot of common sense.
And I know I'm prying. I'm just curious, do you have examples of that where you thought, okay, they should know better, or this is an example of common sense they should have had and they didn't? Or speaking specifically to Daniela.
You dingy, you ain't got no common sense.
What I should have just said is that I've always been able to read people pretty good, have a pretty good instinct. I've been wrong, but most of the time I'm right.
But why are you here? Like, if you can read people really well and you have like a pretty good instinct.
All right,
like,
man, bitch, bitch, he wants to know. Bitch, he want to fucking know. You obviously know this man ain't that goddamn smart. He pisses me off. I don't like him on this show.
I have to have facts before I just trust, an intuition or a feeling. I need the proof.
Well, let's jump
into it. That shit lame.
Yeah. I know you sent over a crypto address where you had been sending funds. So when I looked into that wallet, it looked like this wallet had received over $15,000 in funds and had also transferred all $15,000. So it no longer has a balance.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that sound about right in terms of how much you had sent?
Yeah, it does.
Like I said, if there's any way you could retrieve your Cash App, let's talk about that later. I have some ideas.
Chill out, though. We could tell he ain't smart.
You know what? Something I also forgot about is I don't think you ever sent the tracking number or you sent 2 iPhones, correct?
I sent one to one address and the other one to a different address.
Are you still paying for the phones?
Paying for both because the phone, I waited too long to turn it in because I kept waiting for it to turn up, and it never did. So now I'm stuck with paying for the phone, and I pay so much for that line every month.
I know that we're doing the final today, but can you send me the tracking numbers for those phones?
I think I may have, took a picture of the tracking and have it on my phone. I'll have to look through all my stuff and see.
After this call, we're going to work on collecting that additional information, and I'm hoping that we have this additional week to look into that, and then when we meet with you again next week, hopefully we'll have some things to rebuild to you. What do you think?
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
So, Robert, the team went through all the images and they found the real person in the images.
Okay.
And it's not the person you're talking to. So the real person is somebody with the name of Jessa Rhodes. She's an adult film star.
No, that's not her real name.
Okay, so you mentioned knowing of this other name, but the one that you're talking to claims her name is Daniela using Jessa's images, correct?
I'm not really following what you mean, but...
The person that you're talking to is claiming that this is a past life, they're not doing this anymore. So we found an IMDb page and a Wikipedia page for this person. And one thing I want you to look at is the date right here. So you said that this person you're talking to said that they stopped in 2021, but since 2021, they've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different movies. And the last one was hot and mean 33.
I made David say that. Sorry.
So, I mean, you can see that the real Jessa Rhodes is actually still working.
I have also searched all this stuff like this and found stuff where I thought was new, but ended up being somebody just
my boy having a subathon.
I can see you're confused.
What they do,
so
Splizzy?
let's do this. Let's share something else with you. Daniela sent you a video, and I have some news for you. We did find a similar video. So I want to play the video that she sent you, and then I want to play the video that we had found.
Good morning, darling. I'm sorry we've been having a tough time recently. I hope this make a change when you see this. I love you so much, Robert. Hey y'all, this is Jessa Rhodes. This is my official TikTok. So please, please, please do not follow the other ones. Don't give them any attention. In fact, please go report them because they're bastards and they're stealing my name.
The video that was sent to Robert was clearly an altered version of the video obtained from Jessa's real TikTok. We were hoping that this would be enough to break through to Robert.
I know what you're getting at, and I thought the same. But I ran that through an AI detector to see if it had been messed with, and it told me it was legit.
I took a screenshot of a portion of this video that was sent to you, and I ran it through our reverse image search on socialcatfish.com, and I found an exact match, and it's from the profile Jessa Rhodes Official. So what do you think about that, Robert?
Confirms what I originally thought.
So do you want to know where this person is?
Mm-hmm.
They clicked on the link this morning. They're not in Waco, Texas, like they claim to be. They're in Lagos, Nigeria.
We're talking 5 years of your life. Now you know.
This man sent $15,000 to Lagos, Nigeria. Hey. Hey. Lagos, Nigeria, we up one, baby. We up one, baby!
The truth.
We up!
How you feeling?
A little disgusting.
Damn, Robert!
I mean,
Robert,
you're
what
still talking
the
to someone
fuck?
every day. What are you gonna do?
This will be the last day.
Well, it seems like this person was pretending
Damn!
to be, and I'm using the word you said, but they're pretending to be dingy, right? They were putting on a performance. They were pretending to be who they thought this person should act like.
The dingy motherfucker was Robert the whole
I'll
time.
be candid. You made a comment about your
Motherfucker's
ex,
always in
whether
Nigeria.
it's true or not. Like on camera, it's not great to say. But you said that she didn't have common sense. What do you think she's gonna say about you if she watches this video?
Just don't tell him what she's going to say. For one thing, she'll say it was, she was right.
Do you think she would call you dingy?
Bro, she'd call me worse.
I mean, we're not here to beat you up, Robert.
You are
We're not
beating
here
him
to
up.
beat
What
you
the
up at
fuck
all.
you mean, bitch?
It wasn't easy to hear you use that word about not just one but two females. With that being said, I mean, you got to trust your gut. If you're going to keep talking to people online, you have to trust your gut. The red flags were there. You came to us for a reason. You need to just be careful. And to be honest with you, adult film stars are not going to reach out to you and especially ask you for over $15,000.
That doesn't mean that I couldn't.
Look, I mean, people date younger people or older people. It happens. Usually it doesn't work out, or like especially in an online situation where somebody's asking you for money and they're that much younger, and Jessa Rhodes has options. Somebody like that has options. My wife is very beautiful. She has options. If she was single, I think my recommendation to you is just try to date somebody a little bit closer in your age. Somebody that's a little bit more realistic, unless you can meet in person.
I'm just thinking, I've talked
good though?
to lots
I can still see
of
you.
younger girls or younger than me that.
Oh, what the hell I do now, bro?
wanted to go out.
If it's online, have you ever met them in person?
No, I haven't ever. But in person,
Unavailable or not supporting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that you could be talking to a scammer if you're not validating who these people are.
I know they have some that's not real, but
We don't want you to fall in this trap again, right?
Oh, I ain't going to fall in this trap again. I probably won't ever trust anybody ever again, but I believe that, she was really wanted to get away from it all.
I think we'll close with this. Like, we are glad we were able to help you out.
Yeah.
Now moving forward, you know the signs, so you know what to look for. It doesn't mean you can't trust somebody. It just means that you got to be more cautious, especially after 5 years.
Yeah.
And we'll stay in touch. So, I mean, if you have questions, you come across anybody, hey, can you look into this account for me or this profile? We'll be more than happy to do that, even moving forward.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate it very much. I really thank you guys. Even though, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I really
Did we get a picture of what he looked like yet?
You guys are awesome.
Did they show what he looked like yet?
Thank you, Robert. I'm glad we were able to provide you with some answers and some closure. Like David said, if you want us to look into anybody that you're talking to online, you got my number.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
We
were hoping Robert could see the truth about Daniela after our meeting. This was not the adult film actress Jessa Rose that he was speaking to. It was a scammer residing in Nigeria. That night, Robert had given us the remaining information about the phones he had sent to Daniela. So to put the final nail in the coffin, we wanted to find out exactly where these phones had been sent.
All right, so did Robert finally send over that stuff?
He did, and actually it's a lot more than what we thought. So he sent a full Cash App report, every transaction.
Actually, it's 100 transactions just in 2022.
Yeah.
What else did he send?
So he also sent some
it was up by the
20,000. And notice here he put attention Daniela, but he sent to Overnight Logistics.
Oh. He thought that it actually went to like a house and then it got put into a field.
So when I look up that tracking code, it doesn't work. So it must be over 180 days.
Yeah, 1224.
And then I also want to just take a look at that address. It's stating it's here in this strip mall, but I don't see anything.
103. So find this space 103. See if it's on the door somewhere.
Maybe this one is a little bit closer. 115.
So it's probably on the other side of the complex.
What is this? I can't zoom in anymore.
Yo, they really up in here. Hold on.
Office.
FedEx, shipping, everything. They ship it to a different logistics name to cover up the tracks.
I was really hoping there was going to be a phone number on this, but there isn't.
So let's see if they have a website. M Global Logistics. Oh, Houston, Texas. M Global, right here.
Oh, it says something about an iPhone 14 Pro. At that address, I was asked to purchase and ship an iPad and iPhone 14 Pro Max to address Suite 103. Personal information was taken from me via documentation, including my bank information and social security number. What the heck? I need to order 7 phones and have them ship. The payment in full this week will be paid off. I have an account. Uh-oh. It's Suite 103.
Forsyth man said he lost 18,000.
They done found a spot. They done found a spot.
Suite 103.
We got him, boys. Send him
April
in.
2024.
So this address has been used so many times in scams.
Wow. He responded to an ad on March 10th about a part-time work-from-home IT job. He had several online meetings and an online interview with a company that claimed to be M3 Tech in Texas. What the heck?
I mean, this is great news. Like, Robert really wanted to know, like, where the package went, and now we know.
All right, let's call him and let him know.
Perfect.
Why they put that fake ass dial
Hey,
noise?
Robert, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good, good.
We have some news for you about the phones that you shipped.
Okay, good.
So the package never really went to Daniela. It went to Overnight Logistics.
Yeah, that's where she told me to mail it to, because she said she didn't have never got mail at her house, and they got her and her grandmother got mail there before, and she'd know that she'd get it if I shipped it there. You know, what gets me is that they had no right to even open the package.
Well,
wow.
So what really happened, Robert, the people at that address got arrested. So there was an investigation because all of 2024, they were receiving packages for scammers. And there were a lot of different scams that were being run through that exact address.
So what had actually happened, the reason they didn't get it is because right when you had sent it, people had reported all their phones that were being stolen by scammers overseas. So the company's actually M Global, and they're a logistics company that sends products over to Nigeria. And if you remember, the IP tracker came up in Nigeria.
Well, you know, it's really, what you're telling me is really, I mean, kind of the same stuff that I came up with myself.
How? Wait. You did not, if you came up with it yourself, why would you be talking to this person? We found that it was a logistics company that had a bunch of fraud.
You did find that out that I didn't find out.
We got the IP address for you, right?
But I mean, as far as showing up in Nigeria and that stuff, it's done that to me before too. But
So if you know that the person behind this is from Nigeria, then why did you continue to talk to them?
if it's a person from Nigeria, why didn't they take advantage of when I give them plenty of opportunities?
They did. You did. For 5 years, Robert. What are you talking about?
You did.
You gave them. You gave them thousands of dollars. You bought phones for them.
I'm talking about credit card numbers, Social Security. They know. She knows everything about me.
How do you know? How do you know they haven't?
That's not good, Robert. And you should go run a credit check. You should freeze your credit right now.
Well, I already know what my credit is. I used to have excellent credit.
This man just knows every fucking thing. But you got, you know, every goddamn motherfucking thing, but you got motherfucking fucked in the ass by some motherfucking. Alright, bro.
Then, you know, living in a hotel.
God damn!
That's running up a $10,000 hotel bill and all that stuff kind of ruined my credits.
Yeah, and then also giving your information to scammers online.
Well, I'm not only that, my information's been involved in several data breaches.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you definitely need to. You need to file a report, a police report. You need to freeze your credit. You know, we're just here to help you out, Robert. I know that maybe I
have talked to the police before, and they just think I'm crazy. I mean, I've talked to Waco police and stuff.
We've sent everything to you. Me and David have both spent some time digging into everything. We can 100% assure you that you are talking to someone from Nigeria. The real Jessa Rhodes is the person in the images. She is not in Nigeria right now. So you are not talking to this person.
She's not in Nigeria right now. But what I was going to say is, can y'all send me what your findings and so I can look at it all?
Of course. Of course. We'd love to put that together for you in a report so that you can file a police report with everything that we found.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
But you have to block this profile.
Okay.
But we know, Robert, like we found the real video. Like, do you agree or disagree with that that we found the real video?
Yeah, you found the video.
And so and so the person you're talking to definitely changed the video using AI. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, yeah, I do in a way, but you know, I don't know why. When I had it checked, it said no compromise.
I know, but we use several different tools, Robert.
But we found the original video and we were able to prove
This man
it, right?
don't want to accept that a porn star don't want him, bro.
Like,
he don't want to accept that.
He know
that's Jessica Rhodes. He know.
And then the IP address came back in Nigeria. The shipping company has been had gotten in trouble for
compromised.
I can't tell that man a goddamn thing. He know that's his honey bun, sugar pie. What he say? Got the body of a goddess.
The shipping company got in trouble because they were accepting fraudulent packages. So I mean, everything leads to fraud and scam.
Delusion is crazy.
And the person you're talking to is not. It's not the real person. It's somebody's images that have been stolen.
Do you have any questions about that, Robert?
No.
Okay.
Our goal, Robert, is to give you all the information so that you can approach this in a much more educated way. And we care about you. We don't want to leave and not have you like have the answers and the clarity. I mean, 5-6 years is a long time to not have clarity.
What gets me is I've seen her. I actually seen her there in Waco. Drive right past me and look at me.
Well, even if that really was the real person, even if it was just a
God damn, man. Jessica Rhodes was not in fucking Waco. What is he talking about? Oh, y'all look good, man. Y'all go back to bed. She wasn't Waco. She drove right by me. She looked dead at me. She looked, no the fuck. She did it.
I was in a picture and or in a car and she drove by you. She didn't stop her car. She didn't say, "Oh, hey, Robert, how's it going? My love of my life. I've been talking to you 5 years," right?
I even called Jessica Rhodes once, or Jessica Rhodes, and she was in Pennsylvania.
It doesn't, but Robert, none of this matters. The person you're talking to is not Jessica Rhodes. They made up a fake name, or they made up Daniela to make you think that you're talking to her, but you're not. Everything that we have been able to research for your investigation has been proven that you are not talking to Jessica Rhodes. You were never talking to Jessica Rhodes. I mean, what do you think of this?
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I just don't know.
I mean, based on all the evidence we've given you, Robert, do you feel like you're talking to the real person?
It's a lot to take in. I spent 5 years of my life doing this. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I can't just say this, that. I mean,
No, you
understand my point.
No, I don't understand your goddamn point. You absolutely the fuck can be like, damn, I got played. Move on. I got played. I ain't just Rhodes. You know what I'm saying?
So I see. You're saying it's just really hard to detach yourself because you've really grown this like love for this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's unfortunate news and it sucks, and I know we're delivering a bunch of this information all at once. But I just want to assure you that me and David, we're professionals. We do this this is our living. This is our we have a company that we are able to provide these resources and this information, and we've been able to do it for you, Robert. So I know that this is going to take time for you to accept the reality of it. But we do want you to walk away with no doubts, and everything that we've been able to look at all points to a romance scam, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, it's 5.5, 6 years of your life, then you're so used to doing this. Like, it's almost like a habit, a daily habit, talking to this person, sending money, doing all this stuff. And, we don't, you're probably going through feelings like a breakup,
He is. Yeah. We can also offer you any type of counseling or therapy nearby if you need it.
No, I'm good. I can handle myself.
Okay. All right. I highly, highly recommend that you block this person right away.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that you need from this person. They're just going to continue to ask you for money. Is there anything else that you think we're missing, or any additional information you think?
I think they'll pretty well cover it.
This dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we have your back, Robert.
Yeah.
We have your back. We know this
Robert.
is difficult. We'll follow
He
up in
being
a few
dumb as
days
fuck.
and just see how you're doing.
He being dumb as shit. He don't want to listen. Fuck Robert.
I love your humor so much. I love your smile too.
So we were just texting every day. It just kind of exploded romantically.
Can I ask y'all a question? Why is it always an old white man? Is that her in the back?
Did this woman catfish this man into handing over his 401k?
I pulled money out of my retirement. I'm currently dating a lady by the name of Elaine Jones.
You've been involved in an online romance scam. Elaine does not exist.
Now our team will travel across the country to track this scammer down.
If you want to log into my account and try to make the transfer, that's fine.
You could send me the login for your account.
That makes you feel better.
Hi, we're looking for Sharon. We have a flowers delivery.
No, wrong house. Sharon is not home.
She's for sure, like 100% she's hiding.
Who would have thought she would answer the phone?
We've brought in some of the biggest scam baiters in the world and even a forensic voice analyst to crack this case.
So you're thinking that there's a chance that Sharon could be the voice of Elaine?
Do I feel comfortable saying that this is the same woman speaking on all 3 recordings?
I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't even like flowers in the first place.
This is not about flowers.
This is kind of like a finale.
You know where he lives?
No, I actually don't, you know.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement
This
with
one
our
might be
videos
good,
helps
y'all.
us
This one
reach
might
new
be good,
audiences
y'all.
and can potentially stop other people from being scammed.
What you on today, though, Splizzy? What's the moves?
For those of you that are new to our channel, meet Mark. He was under the impression that he was in an online relationship with a woman going by the name of Elaine.
I'm currently dating a lady by the name of Elaine Jones. I met her at Christian Singles. She said, "Hi, I'm Elaine. Good to meet you." So we were just texting, getting to know each other constantly, every day. And then it just kind of exploded romantically.
After a few months of chatting with Elaine, Mark fell head over heels for this woman.
I did buy her a ring, and I kind of hinted it to her, but then we were talking about marriage. If she ever gets to the States, I would propose to her, and I wrote up vows to her. My dearest Elaine, we only have known each other for only a short time, yet I feel that we knew each other our whole lives. You have extended your love to me and have shown me what unconditional love is. I see you as my best friend, my life companion, and my lover.
When Mark and Elaine arranged dates to meet up in person, Elaine suddenly had to travel overseas for work.
She worked with her dad in Japan to oversee production of lithium diode Tesla batteries to be transferred onto a ship that's sent back to the States.
This was when Elaine's request for money kicked in. She sent images of a factory in Japan, the people she worked with, and a contract that stated how much the project was going to cost. And she would need him to help fund it until it was finished. Her first request was $33,000.
I pulled money out of my retirement through an old IRA account that I had. So she had me wire the funds to another bank. 2 weeks after that, there was a delay in docking fees.
Altogether, Mark ended up sending Elaine around $37,000, and Elaine was still claiming to be in Japan. This was when Mark reached out to our team, and we sat down with him to reveal the truth about this woman.
There were issues with all the documents that you sent over.
This person was a fraud. All of the documents and the identification she sent Mark was photoshopped, and the images of the warehouse she was working in were copy and pasted from an article on the internet.
What we're trying to say, Mark, is you've been involved in an online romance scam. The person that you're talking to under the name Elaine does not exist. We were able to confirm that the real person in this image, her name is Claire.
Huh.
Claire is a model, and she has a ton of images on stock photo websites. She also has a few different profiles. She stole the pictures from Claire's profiles and her modeling portfolios.
But who was behind this profile? It was time to figure that out. Mark and Elaine would communicate through Skype most of the time, so we took over his Skype and set up a phone call with this mysterious person going by the name of Elaine. And David posed as Mark.
Hello?
Hi, Elaine. How are you?
Hello, Mom?
Yeah. Oh my God. Am I really talking to you?
I love your humor so much.
Oh my God, I'm so funny.
I love your smile too.
Oh, I do have a good smile.
This person was money hungry, so we used that to our advantage by baiting them into using our bank site riddled with traps to catch scammers. David coded in $250,000 in the bank account, and all we needed her to do was sign in.
I transfer the money to you. All you have to do is accept the transfer, and then you put your bank details.
Mark?
What?
But in order for her to make a transfer on our site, she would need to submit an ID. That's how we would find out who was behind all of this.
If you want to log into my account and try to make the transfer, that's fine.
What it do?
You could send me.
We in here looking at these dumb motherfuckers who keep getting scammed, man. Hey, listen. This shit funny as hell.
The login for your...
The last video pissed me off, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was in here yelling at this motherfucker.
Okay. Bye.
The scam bait was a success. This person did exactly what we wanted them to do.
So you'll give me the login? I guess so, yeah. Because that's exactly what we wanted you to say.
This person logged into the account, and that's when 2 IDs were submitted to accept the transfer. A man named Derek in the UK and a woman by the name of Sharon in Virginia. These 2 people were involved in this scam, and our team got together to figure out how.
The ID. Oh, you in ads. I'm gonna wait on you. We're gonna wait on everybody in the ads. Nah, gang, this crazy. Yo, the more I hear about these fucking stories, bro, the less I don't be believing it till I be seeing it, man. Alright, bet. This is who that man was in love with.
How?
All right, so we got them. This is it. They're clearly the scammers, right?
It's too much of a coincidence because this website was only built to catch scammers. We don't give this website out to anybody else. And so the coincidence that 2 random strangers that are both tied to Ghana, that lived in Ghana at some point, uploaded their ID within the same 10 to 12 hour period is near to impossible.
They know what's going on.
Because remember how you were telling me that during the conversation you were looking at the screen recording and quote unquote Elaine kept muting the mic? How do I make you happy? You tell me. Talk to me, girl. Talk to me dirty.
Mark, you already know, Mark. You already know.
And why do you keep muting your mic?
Because I want to come home.
I know. Who are you talking to?
Who am I talking to? I'm talking to you.
I know, but you keep muting your mic. Why are you muting your mic?
I was just my fingers.
There's somebody behind, which is basically the strings, the puppeteer, right? Yeah. That's telling her what to say. And Brandon...
Hey, see, look, that's what's crazy about this shit. Like, in all of the videos that I've seen, man, like, they always got... And I guarantee you, she ain't making that much money. Like, if they would have sent that $250K, he might have given her $10K.
Research on both these people, and she found something interesting.
They both have family ties back in Ghana. So this is Sharon's dad. This is his Facebook profile, and he states that he's from Accra, Ghana.
He's kind of a flashy person. Huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I believe this is Sharon, and it says family vacation.
Gosh.
This is her mom, and then she has 2 sisters.
But even if you go to like the mom's social media, it's like very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mom is the same. She has friends that are tied back to Ghana. Also, I found Sharon's LinkedIn, and it shows her last place of employment.
We have to go visit her and Derek and get them to admit what's going on. If we can get them in person, we show them like this hard evidence that we have.
But Derek's all the way in the UK.
You know who else is in the UK?
Who?
G9, baby.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think G9 would be totally down.
G9 is an ethical hacker based in the UK, known for helping victims of fraud by using his tech skills. We asked him to visit the address on Derek's ID to confront him at the same time we confronted Sharon in Virginia. The goal was to catch them both off guard, keeping them from having the chance to coordinate their stories. G9 would handle Derek in the UK, and we invited Trilogy Media to help us out with confronting Sharon in Virginia.
Well, it looks like we're going to Virginia.
Well, another travel trip, let's go.
Our team booked the first flight from California to Virginia. We were going to confront Sharon face to face.
We're gonna head to Virginia and we're gonna go find out why this girl's involved in Mark's scam, who lost $33,000.
Hi, Brianne. I'm calling about getting some updates. I really want to get these perpetrators apprehended and locked up. So if you get back to me, thank you.
Mark looks funny as hell, boy. Hey, let him know, night, boy.
Another one. Let's do it. Another night.
Oh, that's art. That's art. That motherfucker be getting hella scammers. I think I've seen this chubby dude. This chubby dude here too. His name Ashton. I think I've seen some videos of him too.
It was time to get to work.
No bullshit, y'all. This is some shit that I've been wanting to do my whole life. Like, I've always wanted to get scammers. Like, especially like the motherfuckers that be online doing the online. I wish I knew how to hack shit, because I would fuck motherfuckers over so bad.
Our team sat down with Trilogy Media's team to come up with a game plan on how we were gonna approach Sharon.
It's very unique that we have somebody in the US that's like behind these romance scams. So if we have her, we can go to law enforcement, hand everything over, and be like, look, this is all we have.
So you're thinking that there's a chance that Sharon could be the voice of Elaine?
Yeah, 100%.
With the help of IRL Rosie, we were able to locate Sharon's sister's TikTok account.
What's interesting is the TikTok account has been made private. In one of the videos was Sharon in a car with her sister laughing.
It's coming.
It's free. Hey! How can AC be free? Go to electricity and ask them, is AC free? AC really consume.
Hold on, Seekers. Listen closely to Sharon's laugh again. Now one more time. Now listen to Elaine's laugh. This is why we've been suspicious that Sharon might be Elaine, which means she may have played a big part in the $37,000 that Mark was scammed out of. This is why it's extremely important for us to confront Sharon in person.
So we have the location of where she works.
It's almost like an adult daycare a little bit. And so that's why I think like during the day, she might be there. We also have her home address and all her family lives there.
If she's involved in a scam and let's say she believes that we're investigating this website, wouldn't she just not want to talk?
Ashton was right. We needed a plan to get Sharon to engage with us in a conversation.
What if you walked in with a bouquet of flowers and you're like, is Sharon here?
Oh, that's perfect.
Love that.
Right?
All right, Seekers. So here's the plan. It was midday and we knew Sharon was probably at work, so the team decided to visit her with a flower delivery from an anonymous person.
Hello. Something like this is great.
You think so?
Oh, you want bigger? See, so if corners only like this. Like this. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah?
So, I think so. And then if we don't give it to Sharon, I get to keep it.
We finally picked out the perfect flowers for Sharon, and it was time to head to her job. We were about to come face to face with the person that scammed Mark out of $33,000.
We're gonna deliver flowers to somebody that was helping somebody else be scammed. Brianne's gonna be the flower delivery person. Connor's gonna be the employee in training, and we will be the muscle that will sit in the car.
I'm gonna be the muscle. Ashton's gonna be the wreckling driver. Reckless. I'll be the mouth.
You want to back in or no? Because if we're, well, I guess it doesn't matter.
We can just not pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to identify this is your car.
Yeah,
I'll point at the thing.
One thing. So David mutes, but you keep your phone unmuted.
Okay.
Right?
It's on mute.
Okay.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, here it comes. Here comes the sting operation, Operation Flowers.
Okay. Card. Here we go. Ready? Okay. Two turns. Hi, how are you?
All right, how about you? What
Good.
flowers for?
There, so I have a delivery for Sharon.
What address are you going to?
this address. Let's see here.
have this on the
This is
paper.
from her friend, so they have this address down for the delivery.
Yeah, she's not an employee.
Oh, she's not an employee. Okay, okay. So this is a delivery from a friend, and they had put this address down to drop off the bouquet of flowers. So I just was trying to confirm what location she worked at, because it looks like the friend has an old location listed.
Yes. She has not been working with us for over 2 years.
Over 2 years. Okay. Okay. I do have a secondary address as well. It looks like it's her home address, so I guess I could just go and try that.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know where else to take the flowers. Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, I appreciate this, Alice. Thank you, Alice. All right. All right. You guys have a great day. That was really helpful. Thank you so much. Not a problem. You have a good rest of your day. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Operation Flower didn't work.
Sorry, there's a big ass bee trying to kill me. What do you guys think of that?
So she hasn't worked there in 2 years?
She hasn't worked there in 2 years.
So LinkedIn's out of date.
Yeah.
But they knew her.
Yep.
It turns out Sharon no longer worked for this company. So the next step was going to her house.
Sharon out here making millions off of these old dudes,
We're
bro.
gonna circle, we're gonna find her location, her house, find the parking, and then we'll go.
Hi, we're looking for Sharon. We have a flowers delivery.
Hello? We have a delivery.
Ma'am?
There's someone there, so we have to do hand delivery, so.
Ma'am?
Oh, Sharon's not home. We have a delivery of flowers. I need you to sign this for me. I have a flower delivery, a bouquet for Sharon. I need you to sign this for me.
What time you get off, Rose?
Well, it's
I'll
for
probably
Sharon.
be
It's
home.
the address. It's from her
I don't
friend.
think I'm going
so
anywhere.
I'm just a delivery person. I just need you. Okay, what's a good time?
I don't know. I'm calling her. She's not answering.
Oh, okay. Sorry. In order for me to deliver
What is it, like
this, I need
3:30
a
right now where you
signature,
at?
And it's hand delivery
be home.
only. So just let me know the time we can come back so I can deliver these flowers to her.
I'll be on. I ain't going nowhere.
I don't know.
I'll probably still
we
be
can come back
bullshit watching
tonight.
something.
Thank you. Okay, we'll just come back tonight. Thank you.
Let's drive. Yeah.
Whoever was behind the door was highly suspicious of our flower delivery. So the team decided to regroup. That's when Brianne decided to give the number Sharon provided on our bank site a call.
Okay, I'm gonna try
fuck?
this phone number that she inputted.
Okay.
Hey! Oh shit!
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right, mom or grandmother, whoever that was, she was not lying. You see, she's not answering. I'm just curious if she even lived with them.
She might not live there.
Yeah.
But then why would she say come back later? If you don't live there, you'd be like, she doesn't live here. Sorry.
And she said it. She said it a few times. She doesn't live here. But she only responded when I put my fist on the door. And she's like, what? And I was like, flowers delivery. And she got quiet again.
I go like this, and Art goes,
Yeah, I know. That's what
and
happens.
I'm just like, ah! She ain't coming out now. Actually, she did sound a little panicked and nervous. She wouldn't answer us for what, 2 minutes, Art? She answered us once, and we're like, oh, someone's home. Then goes silent.
It's either her mom or aunt or
Yeah.
older relative, and
Yeah.
she probably doesn't know. I mean, it's just she's in her 20s, right?
The thing is we tried work. She doesn't work there. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
But I don't
Let me see something. Let me see something. When we looked her up on IGI, was there a secondary phone number?
Oh, there was.
Okay.
Sharon wasn't answering, but Brienne was able to find another number that was connected to Sharon's name using a name search.
Do you think we could call this old number? What do you think?
What's the date on it?
2019.
Call all the numbers.
She's never answered her phone with all the numbers we've called over the last few months. But it's connected. Yeah, it's connected.
Hello? Hi, is this Sharon?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Brienne with the delivery services. I attempted to deliver a package for you earlier. I have already completed
something for me from where?
I don't know from who, but it's a bouquet of flowers.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm expecting anything from anybody.
It says Sharon and I have your address. So, I mean, it's a delivery. I just need to drop it off and have you sign for it.
I'm sorry, I'm not signing for anything that, no. And besides, I don't think I'm expecting anything from anybody either, so.
Do you want me to check the note? I mean, I just need to let you know that I work for a delivery service and I have this bouquet in my car. I've already ran my route. I just need to deliver the flowers and have you sign for authorization.
I'm not signing for anything that I don't know. I'm sorry, you got the wrong number.
Okay, so should I check the note for you so you can see who it's from?
I don't think I'm expecting anything from anybody, like I said.
She not dumb.
I'm just letting you
She
know the
not
company
dumb.
that I work for, and this is what we do, and we deliver the packages. So if you're saying that this is wrong, I could read the note off for you to see if you know who this person is.
I'm kind of losing you. I couldn't really hear what you said.
Oh, okay. Would you like me to read the note? Because it says Sharon Amaw, 1
That's
Virginia.
my address, but like I said, I'm not expecting anything from anybody. So I don't know. I don't even like
It's a surprise.
flowers in the first place, so.
It just says that it is hand delivery only, signature required, Sharon. I mean,
Like I said, I don't think it's mine. So, yeah. I don't even like flowers in the first place, so.
you know what? I'm reading the note right now, so I know this is weird, and I never do this because actually you're the first person that's ever denied the pack. Hello? Can you hear me? Can call her back.
Well, we should confront then. Just saying the only way to get her to meet might be to be upfront and be like, look, we have something we need to discuss with you.
In-person conversation is going to be the best.
Of course.
She's hiding.
She's for sure, like 100% she's hiding.
Now, she will be definitely hiding or telling family not to open the door.
It's like if we're gonna push to try to get her, we may have to reconvene and like call her and be more direct and be like, look, okay, this is what's really going on.
Who would not accept flowers, even if you don't know who it is?
I don't like flowers. What?
I don't like
Who
flowers.
the doesn't like flowers that have sprayed flowers on top?
Someone that bought them for you, like maybe.
Like, I think it's like we're gonna lose her no matter what.
Call back, maybe David, you talk this time as like, okay.
I think we should.
and just
I think we should open up. I think we should
we
open
have
up.
to open up on the
Come
phone.
on,
We
yeah.
have no choice.
But then
Because she's gonna hide no matter
we have
what.
to push hard.
Yeah.
We have to be like, look, this is gonna be
There's no
criminal
Wi-Fi
trouble.
here. That's why we keep dropping the call though.
All right, Seekers.
What the
It seemed
fuck?
like Sharon wasn't buying our flower delivery story. The team drove away to regroup again. Although it was pretty crazy how similar Sharon and Elaine sounded.
So you could send me the login for your account? I'm sorry, I don't think I'm expecting anything from anybody.
That's her.
All I'm thinking as I'm hearing her voice, I'm like, oh my God, she sounds just like that. We need to confront. It's been too long. I think we should call her back.
Yeah. Because no matter what we do, there is no way to go back. She's not gonna open the door. If she's gonna hang up on us and she can disappear.
We're already in that position.
Yeah. This is it. This is kind of like a finale.
Seekers, you have to stick around until the end. Find out how we meet up with Sharon face to face.
Somebody who wasn't involved would not stay on, and then she sounds panicked as dude. Panicked as
And we'll get even closer to figuring out whether or not Sharon is truly Elaine.
Do I feel comfortable saying that this is the same woman?
If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And once you've done that, give this video a like too.
Yeah, go subscribe.
If you're looking to contact us and you think you might need our help finding out who you're communicating with online, or maybe you need help breaking through to a friend or a family member, don't hesitate to reach out to our email, sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We can help you find the answers you've been looking for. And we're back. Instead of beating around the bush, the team agreed to confront Sharon with everything that we knew and let her know how suspicious we were of her.
Hello?
Hi, Sharon.
Who's this?
Hi, this is David McClellan. I'm actually calling you because a few months ago you had signed up for a website called Does that sound familiar?
Huh?
So a few months ago you had signed up for Does that sound familiar?
No.
I know you signed up for the site because you had put in your personal details and uploaded your driver's license.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about I put my what?
I think you actually talked to me on the phone a few months ago. Mark, does that sound familiar?
I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. What?
Oh.
Is this a scam call or something?
No. So we're actually going to the police with this information. So I
I don't know what. I'm sorry, I don't. What?
So I wanted to call you before we went to the police, and so I wanted to. Yeah. So basically, I think somebody got you involved in this, and so we're actually after the person that got you involved. So we know your information's there and you're involved because like nobody would.
You know, people take people's information, right? I don't know anything about this. You said a few months ago. I don't even know that a few months ago, which was when.
Here, I'll give you the dates. Maybe that will refresh your memory. So 8/19 at 3:53 p.m.
I was not even here. I was not even in the country. 8/19. That's August, right? August 19.
Yeah, where were you?
I was not even in the country.
Where were you August 19th?
I was in Ghana.
Ghana.
I don't even.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. Is this a scam call or something? Because what?
No, you can look me up. So my name's David McClellan. I'm with a company called socialcatfish.com. We investigate online scams. And
okay, but I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. It's like you're pinning something on me. I don't know anything about that. Someone called me from the same number saying they have a delivery for me.
That was us. That was us, Sharon. Yeah, that was us.
I don't know anything about it. I don't even like flowers in the first place.
Well,
so I'm sorry.
This is not about flowers and whether you like flowers or not. This is about somebody losing $33,000.
Listen, I didn't receive that kind of money. I don't even know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, you got the wrong person.
Yeah, so we have all of it. So we're gonna go to law enforcement. So if you don't want to talk to us, that's okay. I can go to law enforcement. So here's the deal. I want to give you the opportunity.
There's no opportunity. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about this. Please.
So Sharon, we're gonna go to law enforcement and hand everything over. But if you give me just 1 minute to speak, I just want to let you know what we're trying to do, because we're not after you. We're after the person that got you involved.
Okay, but I just want you to understand that I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who the name you just mentioned. I don't know who that person is.
So I have IP addresses of logins to the website. I have your email, gmail.com.
That's not my email. I don't even know.
Well, it is attached to you. I have your home address, your phone number, and then I have your driver's license that was uploaded with it too. We'd like to meet, so we actually flew out here to meet with you over this, and we're gonna be meeting with law enforcement to hand this over.
We knock on the door, but they said that you're not home.
Yeah, but if we could meet with you, to show you what we have,
all the evidence,
and like again, we're not after you. There's somebody that got you involved in this.
Somebody is using her information. Somebody is using her driver license.
Yeah, but you know people take people's information online, right?
Yeah, but Sharon, they don't take pictures of your driver's license and then upload your driver's license, your cell number, your home address, your first and last name, everything. That's not what they do.
Address you're even talking about, that's not even my email address. I wouldn't I'm sorry, I don't know anything about
Sharon, what
that.
time you gonna be home? Because again, we flew from Los Angeles, California to meet with you with a pack of evidence. What time you will be home? We would love to like show you everything that you have and you can see it for yourself. Please, can you meet with us? Give us 5 minutes in person, please. Somebody is using your credentials, your ID, your driver license, and there are a lot of money is moving from one account to another account and they're using your names. So if you're not involved, we want to help you.
Okay.
Okay? Please. Okay. What time you gonna be home?
I should be home by 8.
Maybe you can in public place, like you name, it's your area. We like again, we're not locals. We're from Los Angeles. We want to hear your story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Can you text us, please, where to meet, and we're gonna meet with you? 5 minutes, and we'll be done, and we're gonna give you everything that we have.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're gonna see you at 8 o'clock at your house. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Somebody who wasn't involved would not stay on, and then she sounded panicked as dude. Yeah. Panicked as
Who would have thought she would answer the phone 2 times? She's definitely a pawn.
But she
definitely.
She sounded panicked. Like
she's
so the flowers,
stressed the out.
The flowers, she's like, well, I don't want flowers, blah, 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 right? She could have been like, hey, I don't want to meet with you, and because I'm not part of this, so.
But hey, success.
Wow.
She want to meet,
nice
and that's what important.
What about the flowers?
Always,
Give it to her.
Always the best idea, although she hates flowers. Thanks a lot,
Damn
Ashton.
it.
Can't you get anything right? Jesus. You could have said chocolate.
Just about to say, you should have get a cake, Ashton.
No.
Seekers, this was it. Sharon agreed to meet up. We couldn't believe what was happening. She shared an address to a local McDonald's through text message with the team. The team drove to the location and waited for about 30 minutes. Then, this happened.
Hi, Sharon. Hi.
Sharon, nice to meet you.
My name is Art, and this is my name's Ashton.
First of all, like, I don't want you to be scared. Like, we're good people.
We'll explain everything.
It is weird. No, 100%. It's weird. I agree with you. We've been doing this for a long time. Like, I want you to know that. And so, like, we're passionate about, like, people that go and steal money from other people. Like, that's our mission. We want to help these people out, right? Sometimes people like you get caught up in this, okay? We're good guys. We're not here to go after somebody that maybe was taken advantage of or somebody that was involved, you know, maybe not fully knowing what's going on, okay? That's what we think has happened to you. We do think you were involved, and I'll let you know why we think you're involved. We can sit down, by the way, too. So essentially we built this site, and the only people we gave that website to were ourselves and the scammer. So here's the logins to, here's the device, the IP address. Is this your driver's license? Yeah. This is all the information. So this is your information. This is this.
My phone number, that's my address, but that's not my email address.
So here's the deal. The chances that somebody would take a picture, take your driver's license out of your wallet, take a picture of it, and upload it to the website are probably slim to none, right? Okay. So like, that's why like we know you're involved, and so we're trying to figure out like what happened.
Involved. And you said there was a location?
Yeah.
Different locations.
They were masking their IP address, right? So like the IP address kept changing.
And, Florida, Washington.
I wasn't even here.
But you know it's a website. You don't need to be here to log into the website.
I don't even know anything about like.
Have you been dating online? Have you been like anything like?
Is there any family members that could have accessed your driver's license?
Information.
No, I live with my parents and then my little brother. Yeah. And then my siblings. I have 3 siblings. Plus me, so we're 4.
We have like 3 different locations in the United States, and all of them from Ghana.
I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry.
No, I understand that you don't know, but it's just like weird that person with your driver license go to our trap that we're setting specifically for scammers and try to withdraw money from this website.
And like I said, I don't know anything about it.
You've never heard ever?
Swear to God, I don't.
Did somebody ask you to send you your ID when you're in Ghana?
No.
Because the thing is there's 2 people from Ghana that signed up for the site, right? So there's you, and then there's this other person that signed up.
He's another person that signed up, used his email. We have his driver's license.
Okay, I don't know.
No? Okay.
Does anybody has access to your private, like to your social security, to your driver license, besides your...
That's my first, I'm shocked. Like, I don't know anything about it, honestly.
All right, Seekers. Straight out of the gate, Sharon was claiming she had nothing to do with any of this and never heard of our website. So David decided to play the conversation to her he had with Elaine.
So it's not my proudest moment, but I had a kinky conversation with somebody behind the scam. And so when we talked to this person, I get on a call.
So you should send me the login.
That's the person?
Yeah, who does that sound like?
I don't know that person.
Yeah.
That even doesn't sound like an African accent, right? I don't know.
It does to me.
It does to me.
That does not.
We do a lot
so
with
what happens?
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
So this is how we got the person to sign up, which you ended up signing up for the site.
I did not. You keep on saying I end up. I didn't.
Well, how?
do that.
But what are the chances that somebody took a picture of? This is not like.
But okay, like I said, people use people's.
Right. I've seen.
They
but do they?
No, you're right. However, like to have access to someone's driver's license, whole other thing. That means someone close to you has access to your driver's license.
Honestly, I don't.
Do you have any siblings? Do you have any relatives in Ghana that still lives in Ghana?
Yeah, my cousins.
Your cousins. Do they have access to your, did you ever send something like MoneyGram, Western Union, anything that your driver license involved?
No.
Somebody's using your information.
Do you have a picture like this on your phone of your driver's license?
No, I don't.
Did you lose your phone recently?
No, I did not.
The problem is whether or not you know anything about this, the implications and the proof looks bad, and it could put you in prison. That's why we're here. We want to help you.
I swear to God, I don't know anything about that. And if I did, I don't think I'll be in this country if I had taken any latch. I'm a CNA. I don't.
Yeah, I know CNAs. Yeah. You serve people.
I wouldn't.
Well, that's why we're here to talk to you, because it happens very often that someone may not be aware that someone else is maybe putting them in a position to use their information, but basically what they're doing is they're using you and a lot of other people's information to launder money and wire fraud. And so we're trying to track the money to the person who's responsible. We don't think that it's you, but somebody got a hold of your information and they're pinning it on you. So that's why we're trying to get anything that you might offer to help us find that person, because the proof, unfortunately, puts it all on you, even if it might not be true.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to say. I don't have anything.
Did you recognize the voice?
No, I swear I don't know.
What is your email address?
It's
Sharon at AOL.
That's not my address.
Yeah. Somebody was so quick to get hands on your information. That was we're trying to figure out, like, if somebody has access to you like so quick.
Honestly, I don't.
That's why we ask about relatives at Ghana, Maybe they doing scam and they just like, I can use my cousin.
Have you ever sent a picture of your ID to any person ever?
Hey, buddy.
But how did this happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
that's
know.
the weird part, right?
I don't know.
What about your employer?
No.
And you only have the one email?
Yeah.
So you've never seen this email before?
I swear to God, I don't. I don't know who this email is.
So whoever had access to your driver's license also knew your phone number as well and your address. But
I know, but that's online.
No, but this isn't though.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry, I don't. It's like you're trying to pin something on me. I don't.
But this-
I don't.
but-
That's what I was worried when someone you called.
Yeah.
I think I spoke to you,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said bouquet of. I don't
Yeah.
like flowers. So that was weird.
Just like flowers, Ashton.
But this is like the troubling part for me. Is
I
that
don't
like
know anything
like, but
about
wouldn't
that.
you like if I'm just thinking it was myself? I'm like, oh, like I want to know how somebody got my license out of my wallet and then took a picture and then uploaded it, right? Aren't you curious?
Yeah, I am. So I'm gonna find out about it, but I don't know anything about that. I don't.
But still, if somebody will come to me and like, hey Art, I have all your driver license, I have everything, I was like, damn, where did they find everything? I know everything is online, that's why we did not go straight to the police. We like the benefit of the doubt, that's why we're here and try to meet with you. And we flew 5 hours from LA to Virginia to meet with you.
Very grateful that you agreed.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you for doing that, seriously.
I just wanted to get to the...
We're not here to
we're not after you, but
pin it on you or accuse you. We're literally just trying to make sense of it. And usually in this case, because we do this all the time, usually there's something to go on. And at least you being here is helpful. And I'm hoping we can stay in touch, because what we do after stuff like this is we take all the information, we report it to law enforcement to hopefully they can track down the ringleader at the top. So
that's all we're actually after, just so you know.
Sure.
So like, here's what happens. There's a lot of pawns, like people that get involved either knowingly or not knowingly, right? And what happens is these scammers take advantage of people, maybe like you, maybe not, I don't know, right? I don't want you to think I'm like accusing you, but like this is weird, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree? Like it's a little weird?
It is.
Yeah.
It is
okay.
weird.
All we want is the guy at the top that's gotten the money, because like what always happens.
Like I told you, if I had that kind of money in my account,
Well, I don't think you have.
Yeah, I
Like
see
that's
you
the
with
thing.
the
Yeah.
badges.
I don't think I'll be in this country. I don't think I'll be driving that car.
there's a lot of people in the country doing bad things, and they're here anyway.
No, you don't get it. I don't think I'll be having that car. car. I don't think I'll be here, because I wouldn't be foolish enough. I'm sorry for using that word.
What type of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone.
Would you want to search in your phone? You could just type in the word license, and it will pull up any pictures to see if it matches this.
I think you said August.
Yeah. It would have been August 19th was the day.
You said you were in Ghana at that time? 19th, 20th, and 21st?
Yeah, I was in Ghana.
This person logged in 3 different times.
I was in Ghana.
Do you have any proof that you were in Ghana in those days? Like any pictures from anything just to back up your story?
And this the dates. This August 8th.
Does it say location that is Ghana?
Yeah, that's Ghana. And I came back the ending of August.
Well, I mean, it's a website, so it doesn't really matter like where in the world you are.
Right. We will continue to investigate, and we're just going to be in touch. And Brian and David will be your contact of interest. We'll keep you posted with everything.
It's not an accusation. I'm just saying, on the off chance that you're being strictly told not to say anything right now, just know that we work directly with federal authorities who investigate these scams every day.
That's a lie.
They'll get to the truth eventually.
That's a lie.
But getting the truth from people like you will help us get there faster.
So are we done here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else, please.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. Just please let us know, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, to McDonald's.
Sharon denied
Don't
everything.
tell anything to anybody.
She claimed she never uploaded her ID and had no idea what was going on. But what do you think made her agree to meet up with the team? And what are the odds of the voice of Elaine sounding similar to Sharon, the person in the ID that was uploaded to the bank site to accept the transfer? Let's recap a few things. When we went to Sharon's house, someone behind the door claimed we were at the wrong house, yet Sharon wasn't home.
No, wrong house. Sharon is not home.
And I mean, really, who doesn't like flowers? Our friend G9 in the UK was on a hunt to figure out where Derek was. He was looking everywhere for this man and went to the address on the ID that he had submitted to our bank site.
Hello? Derek? Hello? Yeah, is Derek there? Sorry? Oh, who stays at this address? I wanted to talk with Mr. Derek, please. Okay, where is he then? Okay, and who is this? His family then? Do you mind opening up, please? So I wanted to speak with Mr. Derek. My name is Agent G9, fraud investigator. I can't hear you, sorry. So where does he live? You don't know? Okay, well, all I wanted to do was talk with him because, okay, so he's a person of interest right now in the criminal investigation, and if he doesn't want to talk to me, then sadly the police are gonna go to him. That's the next step.
A few moments later, another man shows up outside of the apartment behind G9, getting ready to go inside.
Is Derek live here? Who? Derek. Okay.
No, not even.
Do you know where he lives?
No, I actually don't, you know.
Okay, because...
But before G9 could ask him any questions, he locked the door and ran off.
I just wanted to talk to him.
No, this is in his house.
Okay, do you know where he lives?
No.
Started running.
That was an extremely odd interaction, but unfortunately, G9 wasn't having a lot of luck. It felt like things in Virginia came to a dead end, so the team packed up and hopped on a flight to California. After a few days, David had a great idea. We were pretty sure that Sharon was the voice behind Elaine, but just to be certain, David decided to bring in a professional.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Owen of Owen Forensic Services. I am a certified audio and video forensic analyst. I've been in the business for 29 years and counting. My scope of work usually involves all recorded media, including audio and video analysis.
Jennifer took the audio recordings that we had from David's call that he had with Elaine and the conversations that the team had when we confronted Sharon in person to see if the voices matched up. She had all of the results and facts to back up whether or not these two voices were the same person.
We were very lucky that this female speaker has a very distinct pitch. It's how she speaks. She's got an accent. She has a dialect. She has a very, very specific way of speaking and a cadence and a mannerism and slow and her amplitude is very low. You know, she's a more of a quiet speaker, and all of this is prevalent across the 3 different recordings. So that's why it was okay. It's a go. Let's see what we can do with this, and we can make some demonstratives. And when I say let's make demonstratives, that's usually what I give to people to present to take the extra step. Well, can we get this warrant? Well, can we get this motion to compel? Well, can we get this subpoena? You know, so taking those recordings, I went through all 3 of them, cleaned them up as I could, like I said, because it wouldn't affect anything.
Yeah,
it wasn't going through biometric software. And then after I did that, I went through and I just isolated the speech and dialogue from the female in each recording. After critically listening to each one of them, what are similar phrases? Where's the cadence of speech? And then I go through the cues and go, oh, is the pitch the same in all 3 recordings? Yes. Well, what about the accent? Yes. What about the cadence? Yes. What about the mannerisms? Yes. And then I go through and kind of like, you know, dot my I's and cross my T's on all the oral cues. Are all these oral cues present in all 3 recordings? And yes, they were. Regardless of where they were recorded, how they were recorded, what they were recorded on, the woman's rate of speech and her mannerisms and her cadence, none of that changed. So this is a spectrogram view, okay? And in the simplest layman's terms, this is her speech and what it looks like. What you want to do is you want to find similar words or phrases and put them together. Okay, that's from 2 different recordings.
That sounds like the exact same person.
That's because it is. Okay, and I circled these, but this right here is what her speech looks like. That's called a voice format. Okay. And it's in both from 2 different recordings. And what's an even better for you guys is that You recorded this 3 different ways, and I'm taking from 3 different recordings and 3 different ways and putting it together, and still look at the similarity.
I don't think.
All right, now it's even better. This is all 3. This is the only phrase that I could find that all 3.
I know.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And you have to remember, this is a big deal because, like I said, we had 3 different types of recordings, 3 different instruments of recording, 3 different, noise floors, and oh my gosh, look what we've done.
I know.
They're trying to make sure you don't get away with nothing nowadays, man.
Wow.
Then we're gonna go here.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm trying to say?
What?
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's,
Here's back.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Bingo.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Even the Juno what I'm trying. Wow.
Everything she says, honestly, I don't think these are the, the things that certain people say.
That's why I gave you my signature.
But she had every single dialect. She had an accent, the way she puts words together. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't think, that kind of thing. But then at the end of all that, you put together something like this would be the demonstrative. This is the aha moment when you throw it up on screen. You're like,
That's crazy.
That is amazing. That is.
God, it's like in the Jinx when he asked him, "Can you tell me which one you didn't write?" And he's like, "No, they look too similar." That's insane. Wow.
I do have one question. So, say this goes to court, like how sticky is this audio if it goes to court? Like the cases that you've seen.
it's a supplemental, but if you could sneak the demonstratives in there, I mean, a layperson, like I said, just from her hitting all of those oral cues in 3 different situations, in 3 different types of recording and not the best audio. And then you have her sitting in front of, whomever, it doesn't take much. But in the terms of meeting standards, criteria, and evaluation, this would be considered a supplemental.
Have you seen any cases where it's enough for like law enforcement to get a subpoena and then move forward on it? Yeah.
It all depends. Honestly, it depends on the judge. It really depends on how open they are to technology, or because it really depends on how they're willing to go. Sometimes it's enough, and it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's enough, and sometimes it's not. And that kind of lays in the hands of a very skillful attorney, and the judge that you land in front of. So that's something that you can bring to the table if you may not have clean recordings or something. We can do enough to say this. We need to take another look at this. This is an investigative tool. We need to dig a little deeper into this. We have something here. It may not be the gun in the hand or the or the knife in the hand, so to speak, but we have something here, and we would be negligent if we didn't move forward with this and dig a little deeper.
Not bad for some Scooby-Doo investigators, huh?
Actually gotta get out for a second.
It gets so much worse from the police, you have no idea.
Yeah, hit me.
I think it's
Fuck it, bro. Let's get it now. Look what you started. They wanted me to go dumb, but now I'm going retarded. Smoking gas for the dealer departed. Get my heart out and then I turn heartless. Got a back cold, now I'm cold-hearted. I'ma cloud these thoughts with smoke. Yeah, how to balance these lows. Put a smile out for the show. Just hope my feelings don't show. Drown all these sorrows and go. Let a diamond blind out hoes. With a tech night, keep it close. Cause I know they do the most. Let me focus on this cheese. Cause these hoes be trifling. Be my spinner with this lean. Listen, humble, be too clean. When I step out on the scene, I know that they notice me. No gunner, but I keep it P. Just cause it causing B. This what you wanted. Look what you started. They wanted me to go dumb, but now I'm going retarded. Smoking gas